Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for salvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah. You from Panjama, Maryland to Spoon. Yeah, to Spoon. If you can get my brother to Spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon radio to Spoon. Yeah, to Spoon. You want to get the news updated to Spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What you want? Yes, what you want? Yes, what you want?
With the spoon and your boy right in the south bend. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to get my attention. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon.
Well, pleasant good evening to all of you across Liberia.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia.
I'd like to welcome all of you across the world. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is your show. This is your program. This is the Liberian People's Program. This is Spoon Talk. This is where the views are heard, the opinions are expressed.
You want to know what is
This is where the policy makers get to engage with the people whom the policies affect. I'd like to welcome all of you tonight to today's edition of the program Spoon Talk. We are live on Spoon 107.5 FM, live on Fabric 101.1, Super 95.5, and on several other frequencies across Liberia. Thanks to Voice of Liberia 104.1 and the host of radio stations across the country that are relaying the program right now. I want to welcome thousands of Liberians across the country who are listening to us through the magic of radio. You know, the magic of radio is so unique to a point where I get to sit here in this small room and I speak, and thousands of people across the country get to listen with just in a few seconds.
Yes,
Yes. And if you were doing the regular, outreach,
yes,
the doors to doors campaign, what you would take, what you do for, what you would take up to a month to do, the magic of radio allows us to do that in just few seconds. You just say something and it's out there. Thousands of people get to receive the message in the twinkling of an eye. So I'd like to welcome all of you, thousands of Liberians listening right now across our different frequencies, whether you're on Spoon 107.5, Fabric Radio 101.1, Super 95.5 FM, or maybe you're listening to Voice of Liberia 104.1. I want to welcome all of you tonight. And I also want to welcome our online audience. Yes, thousands of folks troop in here every single day at about this time to know what's happening in the country.
in Africa.
Yes. On Spoon TV on Facebook, Fabric TV on Facebook, Super TV on Facebook. We want to welcome all of our Facebook audience. And on YouTube, our YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. Let me welcome tonight Daniel Tante. He says he's following the conversation closely from his usual Thinkers Village resident. Thank you for joining us, Daniel Tante. I see Philip Bala. Paul Dower is here tonight. Thank you for joining us. Robert Ngumbe. Robert Gone is here as well. Philip Bala has joined in. He says, yes, indeed. We're back for another edition of Spoon Talk. Thanks for always being here, Philip. We appreciate you for joining us on this edition of Spoon Talk. Let me welcome Emmanuel Bondo Masakwe. Is joining tonight from Grand Cape Mount County. Thank you for joining us. Oscar Zigben, an ardent follower, both on radio and online. Is joining us tonight from Gompa City, Nimba County. Thank you, Oscar. James. Now it's moving so fast. I see Nathaniel K. Hill. J. William Yanti is here tonight. I see Daniel M. Mengon Senior. Some of the names you have to break. You have to pause, for some seconds. Then that's when you get it, I see Emma Tum is here tonight. Daniel Mungo is here as well. Thank you for joining. Hope I got your last name right. Perry Johnson is joining us tonight. Binta Bilete is here. She says she's joining from her Sinkofiaman community. Thank you for joining. I see Edwin Colley has joined us tonight. Just keep sharing the program as you join us. Mustafa Lahn is here tonight. He says, we're here for another edition. Welcome, Nelson. Thanks for welcoming me. And I also want to say welcome to the show as well. Wale Menwon Jr. has joined us from Tapeta, Nimba County. That's where he's joining from. I see you, Patrick Colette Sr. is joining from Dupont Road. Austin Jacob, thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate you. I see Oscar Morba. I see Oscar Morba is joining us tonight. Oscar, thanks for joining. This is Oscar Morba, the assistant minister. But thank you for joining tonight. I appreciate you. Esmail Clarence Ketter, thank you for joining. Maurice Nippy, Judith Sinon, thank you for coming on tonight. Da Moore is here. Thank you for joining us. I see Angeline Smith is joining us from Ohio. Thank you for coming on tonight.
In Africa.
That's Gamunga Lloyd is here as well. Angeline Smith has joined us. Thanks to all of you joining us tonight. I want to welcome you in a very special way to this edition of Spoon Talk. Listen, do us a favor. Kindly share the show as you join us tonight. Share the show across your different social media handles, across Facebook, messengers, and your WhatsApp groups. Let's have a great show tonight. And thanks to all of you joining. Well, this edition of Spoon Talk is going to be very, very informative because there's lots of issues happening across the country. It's very important that you join us tonight. You stay with us tonight because this edition of Spoon Talk is loaded. There's a lot happening across Liberia. I don't know how many of you have taken notice of that, but the conversation around the elections law, the new elections law of Liberia, is deepening gradually. Is becoming of a concern to a lot of people, especially those who are actors in the political corridors of our country. Is becoming of a major concern for a lot of them. And some citizens as well are very interested in this because it borders on the rule of law. Someone says the law is the law, and this borders on the rule of law, governance, and a whole lot. Well, 5.1, that's chapter 5A of the new elections law of Liberia, as amended 2014, talks about political parties, acquiring at least 2% of the total number of valid vote cast. That any political party that falls short of that, the National Elections Commission is supposed to take some actions. That is, to suspend that political party or candidate from participating in national elections for the next 2 elections. So if it happened in 2023, for example, that person should not be qualified to contest the 2029 elections and the next election. So for 2 elections, you're not supposed to contest because you didn't meet the threshold. At least 2% of all of the valid vote, you didn't get that. So of recent, that conversation has resurfaced. A lot of people paying keen attention to that. And the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, Designate Widow, recently doing his confirmation hearing, says he's going to uphold that law. And since he made that comment, so much attention has been given to that. And then next thing we saw was that there's a bill that's being introduced by Honorable Musa Hassan Bilite, who happens to be the chairperson of the CMC. That bill is seeking to ensure that provision of the law is revisited, amended, so as to ensure a free flow in the political corridors. And then today we saw at the level of the Liberian Senate, Senator Bill Twari introduced a bill as well, seeking, the bill is called the Democratic Pluralism and Electoral Inclusion Amendment Act, and that is seeking to have that provision of the new elections law amended as well, so that even if you went to the election and you didn't get 2%, you can still contest the next election. He thinks, in the spirit of multi-party democracy, this is the best way to go, and this is where Liberians should be going at the moment. So that's another thing that's happening. And there are different conversations around that. There are people who think that if you can go to an election as a whole political party and you not get 2%, you shouldn't contest the next election. You should sit down, put your house in order, look at how you can re-strategize and well position yourself after 2 elections. While there are others who are supporting these different efforts that have been made from the level of the House of Representatives as well as the angle of the Liberian Senate. Well, that's another very important conversation in the country. Well, on the flip side, Ambassador Shek Kuyate is going to form part of the menu today. House of Representatives, vote of no confidence in him. And that is exactly where we are. And a lot of people now are looking forward to what's going to come up, especially from the angle of the executive, since in fact he's an employee within another branch of government, which happens to be the executive branch of government. But from the angle of the legislature, the House of Representatives have said that they cannot work with Ambassador Shek Kuyate because he has flip-flopped on his apology, and he has re-echoed the very comments he made about the legislature being corrupt. And because of that, they cannot work with him. So more of that coming up on the show tonight. And still on that, there's a lot happening as well. Report now has it that there are over 140,000 Burkinabes in Liberia. What exactly are they doing in Liberia? The LRRC has raised some concerns about that, letting us know that the total figure now stands at 140,000 people from Burkina Faso that came to Liberia and in the name of getting involved with some other activity, agricultural activities. There are reports that they are involved with farming in the southeastern part of Liberia. Information has it that the number is increasing exponentially on a daily basis, and they are extending to as far as Bone County, central Liberia. Grangeda County alone account for 70,000 Burkina Bees in Liberia. So there are others who are citing security concerns, while others see it as something that's just numbers. It's not important, you know. The people are just here to farm, you know, while others are pointing to their involvement with illicit mining. There are others who think that they should remain here, but there are others who are pushing for the status to be regularized, for the statuses of those individuals to be regularized, so as to ensure that they're in the country legitimately. So that is, of course, a part of the conversation in the country, and a lot more happening across Liberia. Most of those conversations are coming up here tonight. I want to welcome all of you, and I want to welcome all of you to the show tonight. Well, we're going to go to the phone lines, take your calls, what's on your mind, as we always do. Let's talk about that thing that is of concern to you. What's on your mind? As we always do on the first segment of the program, we want to hear from you. My name is Nelson Collier. Let's go to the phone line and hear what your thoughts are. The number tonight to call is 077771075. 077771075. That's the number to call tonight, and you'll be live on this edition of Spoon Talk. Let's see if we do this one. Make this adjustment. Go to the phone lines and start to take your calls tonight. Beginning with this person. Hello, your name and where you joining us from? Wait, hold on 1 second.
Josh, calling for Red Light.
Josh?
Yes, calling for Red Light.
Okay, you're calling from Red Light. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, on my mind, Peter water spoon. They told like he brought the oil, putting the comment on oil. Then he can't take it from oil, yeah. We're begging him. Without the low too much on oil. Please, we're begging him. They show too much behind oil. For the government.
What kind of trouble behind you now? Because you're not sounding like somebody who get trouble behind it.
The one,
I mean, you sounding relaxed. You say you get trouble behind you.
No, get trouble, man.
I mean, you get trouble, you laughing. You get trouble behind you. Real trouble behind you, you'll be laughing.
Tell the man. Tell me the help. He say,
Thank you for your input. Thank you. 077771075. Hello.
Hello, Nelson.
Yeah, Paco.
Yeah, how are you, brother?
I'm okay. It's good to have you on. Let's say
Paco for the Unity Party in the Election Bureau.
What's on your mind, sir?
I make it go back. We was saying go back, go back, sound, go back. Where you might be my problem. You might be my problem. Mr. Spoon here. You somebody cool need. Don't be a free show now. They play somebody need. You not for the business setting. Do my problem.
So well, Paco. What do you have to in the whole thing now? The man say trouble, you get trouble behind here.
Yeah, you want to see them comment? Thank you. You want to see them comment for the Republic? You must go back, Sano. Go back, Riverside.
And Sano Power Liberia too, Paco.
Then you go, okay, you go back Ethiopia.
But the man is not Ethiopian, he's a Liberian. Don't you think he has a right? Don't you think he has a right to speak about issues confronting him?
No, but you have free opportunity, but that's anything. They comment, one of the decent comments can find Republican, I put President Towell, I put Samuel Towell, I put other president, but they comment from Charter of Data. I put Eddie Johnson, so we are suffering out today. They comment, one of the back on the other toilet, I want to everything fun, and if we are left, we go to Chapel, and get up there. I can do for you now. I'm going my country, I can see the 4 I can go grand to the Java machine here. They feel that LTE power in the other person. What they want to do now? They come in your one, they tell your one, but you carry or do Brian Potter, and water either one. What they want to do? What the father must do? What you live in our country? You put my own spoon. They would have put my own spoon that I said, go. Who said that the yellow machine come
Well, thank you for your input, Paco. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Paco need a man. The man are toy. You know that how we can build a country here. Hello.
Nothing cheaper.
I mean, no came on you, but go ahead. Let's hear you.
You know, for your past work after I think Covenant and I have been joined now with and that is Fabric. At the time you're there, like the name the call you with. Okay.
Yeah, I remember on the nighttime radio on Fabric. Those days when you were calling most times. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's good to have you on.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Nelson, this is the first of your friend and brother, Almin Mohammed M. Kanechion, strong member of the Unity Party in the W. Speak to it from my compass. Nelson, I listened to someone called the body said that Waterphone, the CEO, brain suffering under the people. And I think that is you. We cannot do it with you, but I don't know where his perspective is coming from. To be very honest, President Bouacar did not bring any hardship, did not bring any suffering to the African people. Okay? You know, you're talking say this government brought hardship. The time former president we were in power, this guy didn't be sitting at home. Prince Chako, Lulu. Money were coming to the phone 24 hours. Okay? Some of us were aware of most of the guys. Okay.
So you know people are playing checker and money are going to their phones.
I say in Yuguta, these guys then. Okay. Now they are taking that in our phone. The former popo defend men there. They call it or I don't know concern for that for justice. You see me? Look, this guy there. Where was this guy there in the country? Now they call it concern for justice. Where were they in the country? The time get to the man pass all the information from the real and when if forget from church instead of that it wouldn't die because of boyfriend and girlfriend. They always came publicly on the airway to say that or they were speaking in the name of concern for justice. You know the garden they are shameless. Because now you see me and then die again
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
And
Thank
they
you.
will cry for the next
Thank you for your input tonight. Hello.
Good evening, Nelson.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Sebastian. A concern that brings for justice. I'm phoning from Chicken started this evening.
Let's hear you.
Well, the issue of Bognabi started from me. I heard from Greg here. You see, there is a reason, some of the reasons the people of Greg just said they were not wanted Ellison as superintendent. If I listen to the president.
Too bad we lost that person. You can try to call back. I think there was some issue there. You can call back. 0555-101075 is the number to call tonight, and you'll be live. This is Spoon Talk. I'm Nelson Colette. On this edition of the program, we want you to call in and say what's on your mind. What is it that you want to talk about? Health, education, just anything that's of concern to you. And the number to call. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of technical adjustment I'll have to make here very shortly. So let's go for this one to be back very, very shortly. Let's go for this one to be back very, very shortly. Thanks for joining us. Keep following. This is Spoon 107.5.
Todo spoon to get your information. Todo spoon to get my spoon, spoon
Yes, I got a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, right in the South Bend. Projects on the beat.
Todo spoon to get your information. Todo spoon to be part of action. Spoon, spoon, spoon navigation. Spoon, spoon, spoon.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you just spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morocco, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah. You provide them a barrel to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Everything get my grateful my brother to spoon. You got a sporty.
Okay, so thanks a lot. Welcome back. We are making the adjustments here to ensure that we can get we can continue taking your calls tonight on the show. This is Spoon Talk. I want to appreciate all of you joining us tonight on the program. You can keep your calls coming to 0555. Sorry, that's 0777 77 1075 0777 0777 77 1075 0777 77 1075. We had a little bit of technical issues here, but the issues are being resolved now. So we are looking forward to taking more of your calls, so you can keep the calls coming to 0777 77 1075, and you'll be live on the show. Okay, so I think our lines are activated now, and that means we are good. So you can keep the calls coming as we keep taking your calls here this evening. 0777 77 1075 is that number to call, and you'll be live. Hello. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Hello, are you there? Okay, so we're still trying to make sure that we can get it coming for you. But yes, this is where we are, Spoon Talk. I want to appreciate all of you joining us tonight. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, you're live. You want to walk away from a radio? Can you lower the volume of the radio, please?
Yeah.
Please say your name and where you're joining from, sir. Okay, let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, all my mouth, they there issue. They there very too much.
They there too much.
Too much, my brother. We talk about the government, that they were going to us. That was changing. So for the government power, we were expecting better. But they're increasing every day, and people are there. So it's posted. Yeah, community.
All right.
I think we just travel push out just from Corey Junction to come all the way to respond. Just the area you see it there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Webster Williams calling from Morrisville.
Webster, what's on your mind?
What my mind has to do with government taking $1.2 million going lobby with to America. Waste of taxpayer money, damaging our money to look for a better image. Look, for the government to get a better image, it should be resonated within Liberia. We, as Liberians, we should feel the impact of the government. Then we will talk for the government. We will explain for the government. But they shouldn't go take our money and carry it to America, give it to a firm, give it somebody $100,000 a month or a year or whatsoever to love it. Why people in GSK, women in GSK are suffering. They don't have the money to feed themselves when they cannot deliver. $100, $150, they get even afford it because the economy is very poor. Or 2 women get that at redemption. Then the government taking our money, carrying out there to spoil it, to damage it. What is that? Is the reason why we let the government and the rescue government is? Is this a rescue? That they came to rescue us? Damaging our money? Our whole education. Look at why just say again, they can provide calculator for our students. Because they're pulling the whole problem on Iran. Why they could transfer calculator from China through the plane? So you will tell the Kalumba can't on ship again. Calculator should come on ship. Eh? Why they can't take it from China and bring it on the plane? Rather RRA, but they say because of Iran war, they can't bring calculator for our students. So how would they make a pass? How would they make a pass?
Thank you.
Thank you
for
your
input. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay, nothing. And you?
I'm doing okay. It's good to have you. What's on your mind?
Thank you very much. This is the Common Board Chairman. My name is T.O.B. Willie. I represent the Coastal Library for Justice. What is on my mind has to do with the latest report that we're getting from, Washington, that our government are going there to lobby. If that is true, then that is very, very much concerning. Because when this government took power, they told us that the international image of this government was already fixed. Now, it was predicated upon that the how you call it, the pivotal seat was given to Liberia. Then how come we're here again that our government is taking another huge sum of money carried to Washington to go to how you call it, to save the international image of Liberia? Somebody help me make it to make sense. When we have people in slow way, nothing, you gotta take your cameras there. People are taking literally dirty water to go and cook, to eat food. Go and see that kind of water people using to cook food. How can Liberia let me get sick when they are drinking water for drainage? But our government is taking huge sum of money in the name of going to want to fix their image. After fraud, we will go to protest. They are claiming out freedom of speech. They don't want to allow us to express ourselves. When they finish doing it, then they're going to fix their image. That's bad. We must condemn or kind of repressive and bad government for bringing that kind of bad government to our country. Thank you.
Thank you for your input tonight. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Super Spoon Fabric. Super Spoon Fabric. Spoon Talk. Spoon FM. Spoon FM means Special People Ordinary Organization Network Family Members. And Spoon Talk means Special People Ordinary Network talk and listen keenly to the voice of Pope of Mr. Central A. Waterspoon and his able, accurate, balanced, most critical, but very credible panelists on Spoon Talk, Super Spoon Fabric. Keep listening.
Thank you very much. You know, we really admire the energy and the creativity you put into what you do, and thanks a whole lot. We appreciate you, sir. Let's take another person here. Hello, your name and where you joining us from? Hello.
Yeah, Nelson.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm getting you, my dear brother.
Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
This is words of Idrissa Sombai.
Idrissa Sombai.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nelson.
Let's hear you. Where are you joining us from, and what's on your mind?
Yeah, my brother.
I mean, listen. Hello.
Yeah, I get you, Nelson.
There's a feedback. Can you walk away from the radio, please? Or
I left that room already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, nothing. This is the voice of Idrissa Sombai, right?
Yeah.
And I represent the full-time Reverend for Justice. Nelson, you know where the things are going on the contrary these days. I don't know why. Yeah.
What's going on the contrary? Please go to the point, sir.
Yeah, like for our students here at the WAC. Why students will be complaining on calculator? The government failed to provide calculator for a student. That is unfortunate. Yeah, I see how best to flex this issue out, and I hope the CEO will try to really dig deeper into this issue. It is time for our nation that why the regime has failed to do many things. So I think this old man has come out like a therapist with a button.
Thank you very much for your input. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you? What's on your mind?
Yeah, Nelson, there's Jones came where they call it from the Japan field.
Jones, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Let me start by saying, for Nelson, I observe all time passer. Orange network as orange. For each time you make 30 seconds is equivalent to 1 minute. They have to
check. How you do a calculation?
No, I have done on so many occasions. That's the reason I have decided to come to the network, to the public platform.
Wait, Gail, give us an understanding. How did you do it? So you started placing the call, then you put your phone timer on?
Definitely. They will always try 1 minute for 30 seconds, which of course, 60 seconds equal 1 minute. So Orange, I have to look at that the entire library. You after your call, just do your timer, you see. Once you're done with that, also try 1 minute. And now to my other point here, I heard many people saying President Bush got 12 years. 12 years when they say agile property in this country, 12 years. Now we're spending millions to pay to lobbyists in the United States of America, and while John F. Kennedy Hospital and all public hospitals visibly empty, no medical supply. 12 years. Rasa also told the people are drinking from creek water. 12 years with the gross disrespect for the rule of law from President Joseph Yuma Boyka. You say 12 years in this nation when peaceful students went out. Nelson, let me conclude. They went out to protest. They were whipped. 12 years when people have been made homeless in this country, and our president have made it clear God is not making new land. So where do you expect those people to go?
Jones.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, God making new land?
No, God is not making new land.
That put the politics aside small. To you,
God is not making new land.
Yes or no?
No. What I'm saying, he been the head of this nation. No, Nelson, me lay on this.
Let's take the next.
Let me lay on this, Nelson. And he been the head of the country. We expect the president to have come to account to the problem and say something positive, but instead of saying God is not making new land and people are homeless. You don't treat your citizen like that.
Thank you very
You
much.
should be a man of peace, man of feelings, like what he should be.
Thank you, Jones. Let's take this person. Hello.
Yeah, Nathan Colette, how you doing, my son?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's good to have you. What's on your mind?
On my mind, when Waka was running campaign in Liberia, when we were running the campaign, there was Raymond. That Waka was Freetown man. You are not Liberia man. You are all Creole man from Sierra Leone. That Raymond was all around the campaign, but Liberia for the benefit of this year saying they look at the man on country for Guinea for not taking. You're just talking that the Pokemon bees are taking over some part of one country and Grand Chile and some part of Nima. So you're telling that man that we are Liberia, man, that man will sell our country over there. We not get place to go.
So, Mama, the way you said it, man, like old Creole, man. But then, why you think, you know, the situation not in Liberia alone? I mean, are you aware that the situation is even with Sierra Leone as well? And Sierra Leone had to give up their own portion of land. Do you think it's deliberate what is happening now?
But the Sierra Leone poor, they told certain action and certain thinking before they do that. But say our own man say you're going to see what to do. You're not saying anything.
They're engaging diplomatically. That's why the government said they're engaging diplomatically. They're using the diplomatic approach to resolve the issue.
All right. The second one about the Kumi business. If Mr. Kumi want President Joe in our country, let him stand by himself or let him go beyond Colette or Liberty Party or Morubani. He will not go on a city. He saw how they treated Joe Howard Taylor. They will just use the money and chung him one side. And the frustration will be more for him.
Thank you.
That one on my mind.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, good evening, Nancy, and good evening, the listeners.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from the area of Koke New Land. The country I'm in right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Nancy, one on my mind is the LOFA project, the follow-up issue. How can our president will go and Guinea president? Are you telling me to ask Guinea president asking me to ask the follow-up issue? Are you telling me how we get problems to ask you? Then according you to say, oh, Nessie, ask who coming on? I don't want to ask you. Are you telling me that the president will say, oh, the Guinea president say, ask me, I had the follow-up issue. That is about experience. Are you people calling all your telling us the company get for the 2 year experience? Are you people telling me? Then we talking about another area again, local, the public taking for state and the same how many million in the one local country. You know how many problems there? As the person who are you people telling us? Then in the same May, wars will be taking a month. Now you put all up for the calculator. But at the top of person movement and what the person taking was.
Okay.
And you put all the money for calculator. And you put Kenya in that you put no you're doing to us. They're not going to get experience about 40 more or 1 more years. But the video country, for where into the country, going to be sitting there to see what I'm doing about country, where we're going, you can't inform, you're going. Go and come here, you can't inform us. That's why still you put there, they're still using us.
But Will, they're calling Benin really serious because the last time I heard Mr. Cummings talked about the rainy season, you know. But is it today that we've started to experience this fluctuation in power?
We want to put it for the 2 year experience in here because we know that you are too bad. So we expect to be coming back again. Why job made mistake, Malatini made mistake. He's coming back to ask me again. Why is the regional, the season and the current is going, current is stable? Because all the things that were going on, that what we say were bad. That what was put the public power to do that for the 2 years. You know what will be coming in the riches in the churches here. We are studying Christmas there.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your input, sir. I appreciate you. Let me bring this person in. Hello.
Good evening, Nancy.
Good evening. How are you?
We give God the glory. This is Jackson Klingba
What's on your mind, sir?
on the Rafi Highway. For a long time, we haven't aired our view of the fact that when we were in opposition at the time, we fought hard to bring the government to power, and we feel that it is appropriate to give the government some time in making sure that those deliveries that were promised.
Okay.
After 2 years and 6 months, we will be coming out to speak to the Nigerian people. We will not remain silent. There are some colleagues who have been calling on, oh, we can hear from your brought the government to power. We can hear, yes, you have the country looking. They'll be coming out very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Jackson Klingba. Let's go to this line and take Francis Dunor. Francis, welcome. Let's hear you quickly. What's on your mind?
How are you doing, nursing? How is LIB?
Yeah, Liberia is doing very well. Let's hear you.
You are there. Okay.
Yeah.
I have multiple issue, but let me give you a few. Okay.
Yeah, just lay out one.
Yeah, no, let me make it two at least. Let me make it two.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
I think that under my senior uncle Joe Walker is left. We all supposed to tell the old man to do better. That's why they call the name rescue. But the rescue now need to be rescued. Because, for example, nursing, for God heaven's sake, if the government cannot even clean the two major cities to make it sanitary, meaning Pillsbury City and Monrovia City, and they cannot even. And we use the determinants of these two cities doing a campaign against the previous administrator. And they are blaming the other people that we remove with our vote. Number one. Number two, why will your people be crying? They're drinking dirty water. 23 years now, post-war Liberia, we can't even get a livable current, commonly called electricity. Then you are hiring somebody in Washington, D.C., the richest country on planet Earth, using the Liberian people money, $1.2 million, for the people to make you look good. When your people that elected you, they're not satisfied. When people are going to hospital, pregnant women are dying because the light goes off. Who does that? Big shame on them.
All right, thank you.
All the way down.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. Let's hear this person. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Good evening, Nexi.
Good evening. Is this Oscar Zigben?
This Oscar Zigben coming from Compass City.
Go ahead, let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Nexi, what on my mind have to do our Nimba County issues.
Okay.
Nexi, over the year 2022, 2023, the late Senator Johnson with some officials of Nimba County, officials of government, including the legislature at that time, they told us that the Nimba County fund that were coming into the country, the former president, President Weah, was directing the money to the personal use. But next season, we have observed that this few days, there's all information that came out that 2 million United States with 35 million Liberian dollars was misused for the past 3 years or 4 years. I think 12 million altogether, 12 or 11 million. So I want to take this time to call upon the government. You know, they said they came to rescue this country. We all observe that those who mismanage the fund of the government in the Nimba County, they are in authorities. So say they only have to come out and then their need have been called. We want for the government to do the best thing to have the people release their positions and come and fix authorities to tell the people how this money was used. Because they used to tell all that money was not coming in the country. The money that was given in the country as county development for, it was used by the CDC government, by President Weah. So NIMA was not receiving nothing. But now we have heard that NIMA used to receive money, about 11 million. So let them kind of tell her how the money was used. Let government be serious on the case. Thank you.
Thank you for your input tonight. Oscar Ziegman from Nimba County. There, this person, hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Blessed evening, Brother Nessie.
Good evening, sir.
This is Brother G. Lahansi, they calling from PMC 80 tomorrow.
What's on your mind?
Brother Nessie, what's so joyful on my mind is the decision that was taken by the host today against Sheikh Kouyaté. You know, my brother, you can't eat the can't eat the cake. Sheikh Kouyaté want to be.
No, when you make the cake, you can eat the cake.
No,
you can't make the cake and eat the cake.
You can't make it and eat it.
When you make it, you can eat it, but when you eat it, you can't have it.
Okay,
so once you finish eating your cake, it will not be in your hand again. You can't eat your cake and have it.
Yeah, Sheikh Kouyaté, a renowned politician that we all know, outspoken. You see, I appreciate our senior brother, Councilor Tewa Mwangu. I mean, he supported the government. They gave him position, refused it because he wants to continue to talk, to speak out of mind, to say the right thing. Sheikh Kouyaté, he want to be an politician, don't accept government position. You want to be an opposition, but you can't be on the head of a man and say the man has smelly. You have opportunity to meet the president. You have opportunity to meet other government officials. If you have any negativity about the government, why can't you say it to them? Then being a kind of spokesman for the president, you are ambassador as president. You represent the president out there.
Thank you.
And you go in the public and say such, and then you come, you can't apologize. So I just want to hear the horse for the decision taken, and I hope they should stand by it. There's no confidence in Sheikh Kouyaté. Let's stand. Hey, you want to be a politician outside the opposition? Let him go out there. You should not be part of the government and go out there to represent the government.
Thank you very much for your input. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Money is spoken according for David.
You want to reduce the volume of the radio you're listening to, please?
Hello.
Can you reduce the volume of the radio or just walk away from the radio?
Yeah, I'm not there again, sir. How are you?
Please go ahead. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm calling from David. The thing that on my mind is you know, we're not in election year. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
We are not in election year. They EFBC, they have a program there where they say opium pool is very wrong for our country. It's not election time. That thing is state radio. It's the taxes people pay that the taxes money over there. They have a program on the radio.
So hello.
Yeah.
So what the EFBC thing get to do with honor?
No, I'm saying that a school station that they want brought this government into power. And many things are going on. It's very wrong for our country. That EFBC.
So you know what? Listen. The best person to call that the DG for LBS. And you know, Mr. Eugene Fagon that used to be on Spoon Network. Find the man number, call the man, and tell the man how you feel. But all the one you're talking here now, you're not helping anything. Yeah.
Look what you said. You said what is on your matter? Why you asking? So
but listen, we won't interfere in other station matter. You know, it's.
No, but that your boss man and all of them brothers come into power. That your boss man.
Thank you very much. Let's take this person. Hello.
Hello, Bernard.
Hello, you're live. Let's hear you. Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm mostly calling.
Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, no, what on my mind have to do with the government of doing rule business around.
You want to be audible a bit? You're coming a bit low.
Yeah. I'm a motorcyclist. Since they go on March, last year March is over on the road from Intown. They go on March 1 year. I'm not taking down. But when they come in a community, the government that we shouldn't run Intown again. But they come to the road, this was 50. But in facing the sense they go on January the pool, where they are right here. They level that road. We saw that put out going to put there the next month. But after that, since then, At recent time, they start carrying another rate there again. So if the government just will go back on the internet road or you want to freedom to run anywhere we want to run, then be all the physical road, if you're committed road that they want all to run on. Yeah, we should be going, I should have about 5 over there. Soon, that's the one person to go in the community.
The whole community, the whole back there.
Then be able to physical community roads and that is 20 everything at all.
Okay, thank you. Great concern. Thanks a lot. Hello. Your name and where you joining us from?
Good evening, Nelson. How are you?
Yeah. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Shaggy is here in District 12. So, our incoming president, in presence of Honorable Musa Hassan Berede, say, I'm telling Labrampo in and out of this country. Good evening, yeah. So, I heard you asking.
So, you the messenger or the spokesperson of the incoming president office?
Oh, of course, I am. So now I'm going to say this to you. You are asking somebody as to whether God is making new land. That person also goes to President Baka, who says God is not making new land. He's supposed to ask us whether God told him that he's not making new land. Okay, that is not the case here. But what I'm saying here is people that in this country think that when they change their views, that means they finish changing the fight. And it is not so. My honorable sir, our incoming president said he is for Nipa. He coming to represent people that he want to say, I want to be president for you. For the people that want to be president for, they say that we're not ready for you yet. That they want for you to go. Then he said no. Then the people that he coming to represent or present over as president, they say no, we don't want you. You will force it. They declare goes to Kumi. They still in a habit of doing the party here in the opposition. You don't still learning from it here. Listen to the people. Don't follow the few folks that are around you. Because when you follow them, you'll fall. But some of our brothers who think that when they speak, then many people will follow them. They're not looking at the studies of what you say. They're looking at the reality on the ground. So thank you very much, President Musa say, good evening to you, Nelson, and to Stephen Morocco. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Nelson, how you doing? This is Emmanuel Court, real estate district.
Yeah, go ahead. Good evening to you. How are you, sir?
Okay, thank you for giving me. Yeah, Nelson, regarding the issue I've been telling you about this Madam Mary Porto who attempted killing me, she always sending a king got a foot on last me. I was later some part of last before we in the hospital. None of you come on the feet to go on the crime scene or do a deep damage and what incident occurred. I got all my picture evidence with me. Yeah, and I want to take it all in my hand. To the first time I called on the radio, the largest woman complaint. Yeah, and I want to.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Okay.
Oh, okay. Hello. So we have some issues with our line. We are hopeful that it will be resolved in the soonest possible time. So this is where we are. Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1, and of course so yes, we want to say thanks to all of you. Thanks for all of your views, your comments, and everything expressed. We are here, and this is Spoon Talk. Diamond will take on shortly from me. He will take on shortly, take over shortly, and yes, the rest of the team will come on as well. And this edition of Spoon Talk is loaded. A lot coming your way, a lot to talk about, so many happenings across the country. And you don't want to miss out on the conversation here tonight. So we appreciate all of you joining us. And we ask you to kindly just share the program. Thanks to the many of you who have already started following by means of radio. And we want to say thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks to all of our partner radio stations that are relaying the show. We want to appreciate you as well. And we want to let you know that Spoon Talk is on the radio, and you can keep your calls coming. So let me quickly make an adjustment. So Damo will take over from here, but let me make a very quick adjustment right here. Okay, let's do this quick one.
You got a small radio to us. Yeah, to us. You want to get a news yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, buddy. Yes, buddy.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand under with the spoon, and your boy right at the South Bend.
To get your information, to the food to be part of school,
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to trust Spoon, you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to trust Spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, don't trust Spoon. You want to know what is happening, my brother, don't trust Spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just don't trust Spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, don't trust Spoon. Yeah, don't trust Spoon. Yeah. You from Punjab, Maryland to Tosco. Yeah, to Tosco. If you eat your palm, regular, my brother to Tosco. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio to Tosco.
Okay, folks, welcome back from that short musical interlude. That is because we were exchanging seats. Nelson started the program, and he did a wonderful job introducing the show. Nelson is still here. We listened to Liberians telling us of their views, what's on their minds, their opinions as well. A lot of things happening in the country, but we'll we'll continue the conversation with this. You know, Liberians have been reacting to this. I'm waiting as Nelson is trying to sort himself out and come on the program. But this news was posted, on Spoon's page this afternoon. Tommy Songo, the Lone Star goalkeeper. We all know Tommy Songo. He's been a very wonderful servant for Liberia, a long-serving servant for the Republic of Liberia between the goal posts there for us. You know, we've had moments with Tomi Songo. All of us, you know, at one point in time felt that Tomi Songo brought us some heartbreaks and all of those things. But now, Tomi Songo was left out by this new coach. The new coach of Liberia. You know, Liberia just got a new coach, right? And what's the name of the coach? Mohamed Abdel Eradi. Yeah, Mohamed Abdel Eradi. This new coach decided he will not call Tomi Songo at all for the friendly matches that we're playing against Sierra Leone. We'll be playing Sierra Leone on the 6th of June in Bo. If you can make your way there, it will be good to go there and go watch and cheer for the Lone Stars on our new coach. And we'll be playing the return leg, you know, here in Monrovia at the SKD on the 9th of June. So the first leg is on the 6th of June. The second leg is on the 9th of June. You know, why the coach left Tomi Songo up, and are the comments that people started posting that were not meaning to feel some kind of way. So what's your take on this whole issue, you know, that Tomi Songo, is there a new direction that the coach is going? Are you happy with Tomi Songo being left out of the national team? What's your take on this, you know? Do you think the coach has started on the right path? And if Tomi Songo, who else should be, you know, dropped from the Lone Star team? Is it a new direction by the coach? Or is just there something that he's testing? Or you yourself, you happy with the fact that Tomi has been left out by this new coach? And still on football, you know, the footballing season, so we'll not be playing World Cup, we'll be talking about, yeah. So Luther Tappet, the chairman for the mobilization for Lone Star, chairman again of Unity Party, Luther Tappet say, for Liberia to qualify for AFCON 2027, we need 10 million. Yeah, we need between 5 to 10 million United States dollars to qualify. This has raised a huge debate. Whether or not that 5 to 10 million we should put it into something else other than Lone Star qualifying for AFCON. But I said we need 5 to 10 million just to qualify for the African Cup of Nations. You know, and he's the chair of the mobilization and fundraising committee, you know, Luther Tappet. It says we need 5 to 10 million. Well, to do Ebola prevention, we need 4 million. To qualify Lone Star, we need 5 million. So what's your take on these things as we move into the serious conversations on the program? The rest of the panel will definitely join us. There's also issue about lobbying, you know, contracts there in Washington, D.C., one government paying 2-point-something million to 5 different firms, another government paying 1.2 million. There is a huge debate on social media. Everybody's taking their sides. You see pro-government supporters and those who do not support the government taking their sides as to whether or not the government should be paying 1.2 million United States dollars to a lobbying firm in Washington, D.C. Why is that needed? The rest of the guys will come on and we'll talk about that as well. Now, revenue sharing is also on our list today as we listen to the folks on the Ministry of Finance apologizing to the Senate on the issue of the Local Government Act, the 2018 Local Government Act that deals with revenue sharing as well. You know, we'll be talking about that. They apologize, but there must be criteria set. Nelson followed the Senate. He's our Senate correspondent, followed the entire proceeding. What does the Local Government Act of 2018 say when it comes to revenue sharing as well? Now, Victor Eugene Morgan says, what has been Tomi Songo's impact on the national team as goalkeeper? Really? Anyway, Tomi like like own people, they see more like and say, hey, like they see more like and say boo. And the people then asking what has been your impact. You got the coach lead you up. Now people making it other news. Now, see when you ready, I'll bring you. I do see Colonel L. Remy Gray, Dr. Emmanuel George of the ANC is there. Colonel L. Remy Gray, whether he's UP or he's independent, we don't know. He will tell us that himself. Yeah, but a lot of other things to talk about on the program. Yellow Machine people have been invited by the Senate to come in and tell the Liberian people how the whole Yellow Machine operation will be looking like. Yellow Machine people. And the issue of sanitation. Hey, my people. I see one dumper today. I get let's say pay chicken. One dumper. Temporary transfer station in Fiamma. You see the one dumper and it dump. You know the reason I call it dumper so we can relate to it as Liberian people. Yeah, I won't say solid waste transfer station. No, the real solid dumper that to firm the beyond water and sewer fence after LDA headquarters. Jesus. We really have a waste problem in this country. We really do. I don't know what are we doing to solve these problems. Went to the dumper today. I saw a Liberian company say they're trying to see if they can intervene and take a day and all that kind of thing. But you see day, real living day. So we'll be going on the streets. You cannot have a healthy country when people are living in filth. Yeah, the citizens still got a role to play, but if the solid waste is taken from the communities and is brought to a temporary transfer station and it becomes what the technocrats call legacy waste, that means it's still on there. It don't get all there. What's the solution? We all heard about this contract issue of trying to bring in companies, whether Liberian company or local company, to take away the solid waste and turn it into energy and all of those things. While we're waiting for that serious part of having people living in serious living day. And the rainy season that we're in, if you got stockpile of diet like that at Fiamma, at Center Street, at Stockton Creek, at Red Light, at Douala, the various places, you're talking about the risks of a serious cholera outbreak or some communicable disease or any kind of disease that you can get from water and dirt. Yeah, citizens too have played their part. You see, people just drink water, they churn the water in the water. People take dirt, they put it in the water. People pay their house, they put it in the swamp. People do that. Everybody contributing to the dirt issue. But the greater responsibility is on the government. It's on the government to have a serious dumper like that in a community. I ain't want to talk about what Ben dumper to Wentan area that I hope they the telecom community. Now on a mountain of dirt. What are we doing? What are we doing? And the mosquito, Philip, the mosquito around the dumper, one kid to sit on my hand. It can be black mosquito, big and black. I don't want to boy you down with the malaria. All kinds of things inside. We need to be serious about that. So we'll be taking our cameras around to show the sanitation condition of the country and the water condition in our country as well. Now, see, when you're ready, I can bring you on. Conan Gray, when you're ready, you can give me thumbs up as well. But the people then saying Tommy Songo, he didn't do anything for Lone Star, so the coach was in his right to have dropped Tommy Songo from the starting lineup. Conan Gray, you know who is Tommy Songo?
No, Mr. Slanger. As far as I know, I'm not aware of this recent or the contemporary Lone Star squad. But according to what I heard from you, is that Songo is a goalkeeper. Maybe has been the key goalie for the Lone Star. I could be wrong, but that's what I collected from what you said. But I don't know him, to answer your question.
Oh, you know Tommy Songo?
No, sir.
They call a man both teams to score. You know what they call both teams to score?
He can score on himself.
No, that boy get all serious heart attack in the country. Yeah. Probably when the coach dropped him from the team, maybe he might recall him to go to America. But I know the way looking at the way they're making him to go Sierra Leone, maybe he might not go to America.
Yeah. But that is to suggest that we have a replacement for him, right? Because they're always a substitute goalkeeper just in case your main goalie gets hurt. So there's always a substitute, maybe 2 or 3 others. But I think coaches have their own reason for Xing some certain people from a squad based on their own assessment. That's the skill they come with, to the coaching arena. I probably did not meet the coaches, preliminary test, from his own assessment.
What I like and saw that whenever you in a ball that both into school, he always does something that made for them to score in. Dr. Josh, how are you?
Dr. Josh, you mute yourself.
Thank you. Good evening, Diamond. Good evening, Ray.
So you happy too that the coach left out Tommy Songo from the national team?
Was he playing well?
So yeah, one sports journalist say, as a sports journalist, I can tell you Tommy Songo will be back in the team very soon. Our problem with Lone Star conceding goal is not a goalkeeper, it's not a goalkeeping, it's our defense. It's the poor IQ.
Right now, the way football is, when they analyze the team, they can also analyze the goalkeeper and say how many clean sheets he had. so perhaps that what the coach don't get really bad clean sheet right now.
But what's your take, that Doctor?
When you say that the man a drop bucket, don't tell him, man. We don't know it. You say a drop bucket.
But let me say, but me, I call him both teams to score because on the majority, most of the matches, they always score on us, and sometimes it's errors coming from him emanating. I remember there was one match vividly where he caused a serious error and they scored on us. Yeah, we already can play second half good, and we get goalkeeper. I've been making people to score, you know. And there were unfounded allegations that he can bet against the team that they will score on Liberia. So again, I can prove that those are just allegations. But the way Lone Stars are also playing Minnesota and they keep the man out from going to Sierra Leone, what's the assurance that he will go Minnesota? But what about this one that the United Party chair and the mobilizing chair for Lone Stars say we need 5 to 10 million for the team to go to AFCON 2027? Should we be looking at investing this much in Lone Star, or we should be thinking about something else?
Well, it
can kickstart that.
It depends. In sports, there's a return in sports, and we do not invest a lot in things that will give a future return. We invest in what we're happening right now. I think it's important that we invest that kind of money in our team. The more money you invest in the team, the more the team is able to go higher in tournament, the more the team go higher in competition, the more money the Football Association receives, the more tournament teams attend, the more money they receive. Just for qualifying for the World Cup, you are paid for the qualification before you get to the World Cup. And in each stage, you are paid a certain amount of money. So it's an investment. I think the government should take it as an investment and expect to get something back. We need a good coach for the Lone Star. It's been a long time. We celebrated the Lone Star.
Will an ANC government be looking to invest 5 to 10 million in the Lone Star, Dr. Josh?
We'll be looking forward to invest more than that in the Lone Star in sports in Liberia. Again, as I said,
speaking from an affirmative position as a hierarchy member of the ANC, that your government, when elected, will take 5 to 10 million and invest it in sports in the Lone Star? The
ANC-led government will do more than that, investing in the Lone Star and in sports in Liberia. Sports have dividends. Sports yield dividends. It's a long term, but when the team become better, the dividend is immense. And a lot of dividend come to the country. If you play when teams are
just being qualifying for AFCON 2027, which is less than 2 years away. If ANC government were to be leading this country now, are you saying you look at that 10 million and put it in Lone Star to qualify for AFCON? 10 million, Dr. Josh?
Yeah. Yes, I'm saying that. And we should put more into it. Again, this investment brings return. It brings long-term return if you invest in sports the way you should invest in sports. Our neighboring country, when I went to Cote d'Ivoire, I became a refugee in Cote d'Ivoire in a place called Tabou. The first place I was refugee in Tabou. We were following Jonathan segment when they played in Saint Petro. Asset Mimosa came down to Saint Petro to play. For the first time, I saw how much money is in soccer. Travel to Cote d'Ivoire, go to Ghana, go to our West African. I don't know about Guinea and Sierra Leone. I didn't watch their soccer game. But you get to Cote d'Ivoire, you get to Ghana, you get to know the investment they have in sports. When Aimba was winning games on the continent, the amount of money that the returns is significant. It's not only the return of how much cash you get, but foreign people coming to your country, it helps promote the how they call it, the tourism industry.
Put 10 million in Lone Star.
We'll put more than $10 million in Lone Star, the ANC government.
Conor Gray, Tamba, welcome to the show. Conor Gray, 5 to 10 million is being said by Luther Tapia to get us to AFCON 2027. That's just in under 2 years. Good investment the government should look into. What's your take on that?
And Diamond, as far as I'm concerned, that's just a number. I want to see what's in the detail. The devil is in the detail. Why is he requesting that amount of money? What is he going to give in return? I would love to see it. The proposal is what will make sense or nonsense. But I can tell you that for a country, soccer is a predominant sport, and it's a way of bringing social cohesion. In other words, you bring people together, and one could have said, hey, throw that money in our school system. Yes, they'll be making sense if they make that counter proposal. But then again, not everybody will be going to school at once. But when it comes to glorification to a national team, more so the Lone Star, that could bring happiness to the minds of so many people. So let's see the men's proposal. Why is he asking for that amount of money just in 2 years?
Obviously, it will go towards players stopping, development, they are lounging, back and forth from various countries for qualifying matches. They support staff, that is the coaching staff and all of those things, traveling allowances for fans, and a whole lot of things will go into the 10 million. But I think I'm to Tamba.
In today's contemporary sport, 5-10 million is actually not enough. Not big money, but it might sound like it's humongous. But think about Mbappe, how much he gets a day. This
is not about pro players. This is about a national team and a qualifying regime within less than 2 years.
I'm looking holistically the sport in general.
We should be looking at it as a long-term development for our national teams, where we build the systems. We recruit the players, we make sure we play friendly and qualifying matches, and build up a whole system rather than looking at it just for AFCON 2027, but for a long-term thing.
I agree with you totally. There has to be some sport development in Liberia. That culture has to be created, not just out of a tada moment. Someone say, "I need 10 million." The question is for what? Show us the devil, and then we'll be able to tell the details.
Okay. Let me bring on Tamba. It's good to have you on. I know you got mad when Tony Songo was left out of the team. We all know you are a big fan of the Lone Star goalkeeper. What's your take on him being left out, and what's your take on 5 to 10 million for Lone Star to qualify for AFCON 2027, as stated by Chairman Luther Tapia? Your take on both, and then we welcome Wilfred, and welcome back again, Nelson Kole.
Yeah, thank you, Diamond. It's a pleasure to be here, and good evening to all of you. Dr. Ime, it's always a pleasure to see you. Conor Gray. Nelson, I saw you on earlier on my way. Bangura, it's a pleasure to see you, gentlemen. Look, and hello to our listeners in Radio Land. First of all, I think Mr. Songo's been left out of the squad. We should respect the coach's decision. We should trust the coach's decision. I think the coach was hired based on his experience, based on his expertise, and we should trust that he's going to make the right decisions and bring together the right team that can win. Remember, football is not an individual sport. Football is a team sport. You have to have the right team. It's not about having the most influential player. It's about having the right teams, the right mixture of players to be able to go out and win games. So we hope that the coach has made the right decision, that he has the right people to go out there and win. And when you talk about just throwing out a number, as Conor Gray said, look, we Liberia is behind. Despite the fact that we are almost 180 years old, we are behind in so many things, and sports being one of those areas where we are behind. We had so much promise in the 80s or 90s, rather, when the late former president Samuel Kayando took interest. He invested a lot in football, producing some of the first international based players, including former President George Manneh Weah, who won the Ballon d'Or, Jim Salensa Diba, and a host of other players who made it in the international settings, international football. So you have to think of, first of all, a cultural shift and a mindset shift. You can't just put $10 million on a problem and then you produce world-class players tomorrow. You have to think of, okay, where did we fall short? What are the mistakes we have made in the past? What are the challenges? Do we start by developing a young team from the ground up to make sure that we can take them through years of development so that when they get out there in the international space, in the international competition, they can be competitive or they can win games? So it is about preparation. It is about mindset shift, and then making sure that you have the right character of people who are coming into this academy or whatever you're going to set it up.
So I suggesting that Tamba we don't throw in the 10 million for the qualifiers for AFCON 2027, and rather go for a long-term building of a team kind of structure. Like, what are you saying, Tamba?
Well, here's what I'm saying. I don't know the numbers, that is in our budget, but I want to see, first of all, when you look from a financial standpoint, what would it take to get our team through the qualifiers? Because as a national team, we are in this competition. We have to transport our players. We have to lodge them. We got to feed them. We got to pay them, right? We got to buy the jerseys, and then the coaching staff and the support staff. So what is in there? I don't know the figures. It's easy to just throw a number. I'm not saying we should get out of the AFCON, but we have to make sure that we have the right mix of the right team, that we know that when we get in our competition, we can get far, or at least we can get to the quarterfinals, if not even the finals, to be able to produce, a win for Liberia. We haven't been to the finals, and it will be historic if Liberia can get to that level.
Thank you, Tamba. The last time I saw Liberia play at the AFCON was in Mali, and I still remember it was former President George Manneh Weah who opened the scoring for that particular tournament with a solid header. By the end of the day, we drew the game. The Malians came back and equalized. Let's come to you, Wilfred Bangura. It's good to have you on. We just chit-chatting as we move into the main crux of the conversation. But what's your take? Sports investment. Luther Tapper says 5 to 10 million to get us to AFCON 2027, all things being constant, making sure our players are incentivized and their travel expenses and all of those things, fans and all of those things. And Tumi Songo as well. We all follow sports. I don't know if you follow the Lone Star, but what's your take? Are you annoyed that Tumi is not going to bowl to represent Liberia in the SKD against Sierra Leone?
Diamond, is great to be on tonight. Let me say good evening from Liberia to my fellow panelists. I speak of none other than Brother Tamba, Brother Emmanuel, Brother Raymond. These are August panelists, and I'm very glad to be on tonight and to participate in this historic program. I have been following investment in sports in Liberia. I know that Liberia is a footballing nation. The people here really love sports. They love football. They long to see their aspirations and dreams for football come to reality. They can't wait. And that is why when you see Lone Star wins matches in successions, people line the streets. And today, some of the famous songs, Liberian Lone Star got wonderful player, and all those are very beautiful songs. Whenever those songs are playing, people think about the good old days. And many people think about whether or not we're going to really have those days come back, whether we're going to have sports once again at the peak. Because people call this the passion of life. Whether we're really going to satisfy the appetizing Liberians with these soccer calisthenics to be able to win games and put Liberia back up there. I'm positive. I know that is going to be possible. So I support the Lone Star for forever, the Liberian Lone Star. I support the Lone Star, support the team. And I read about the proposal by Mr. Tapper, or Dr. Tapper. Whatever informed that proposal, the sport pundits and analysts are out there. This is your domain. This is your main sector. All we want to see Lone Star up there. We have the talents here. We just need to have more investment, more attention, and to build our team so that our team can be up there to compete. There's no reason why we cannot win the African Cup of Nations. I think we'll come of age. We have got the only Ballon d'Or in Africa, and so that's a huge, very huge stake, very huge, achievement. We must be able to produce the second one, but we can do that if we cannot develop the talents that we have. There's so many talents. I can tell you, Diamond, and panelists, when I was in Yekepa, young people who went to play for our school's team, there was one young man that I can never forget. We used to call him Sasabon. Sasabon was just 16 years old, and whenever Sasabon was on the football, man, come on, the young man was so talented.
Why you talking about Sasabon? You can't talk about yourself. What did you play back then in school, Wilfred? You played small football too.
For those who know me, those who know me will say Santigi. When you ever heard that name Santigi at Bishop Kara High School, I was that one man who would dribble the field, but I was very dangerous in the 18. Whenever I got a ball in the 18, oh man, that whole backyard is in trouble because I had a tendency to demolish. Look, there's a guy called Watson. Watson,
boom breaker.
If you're listening tonight, my entire Karaha folks, you guys got to call on the show tonight and let the guys know.
It's just you give a protocol and a test that you use to score.
No, I'm not begging. I was a very dangerous striker. When I got the ball, and you are in trouble because I would terrorize the defense, and defense is well work.
What's the ratio?
What ratio? What you got ratio?
We're gonna strike when you know a goal per game ratio or a game per goal ratio. How many goals you to score in one game, 2 game, 3 games?
Go back. I saw
one
on Facebook. That comment the guy said they think we don't know that the referee is for them. And the dude don't know that they use it better than you.
One of your classmates, James Corby Wilson, say he was a classmate. You never play for the team.
Hey man, James, JG, come on, JG. You know I scored a decisive goal against the 11th grade. JG, the guy put me on the back. Oh, my man.
We gotta go back to VAR, my man.
Bangura called by a classmate.
Are you back?
Scoring powers, and a fair classmate said Bangura never play. But guys, it's a good way to start the program. We have a lot to talk about. This show is going to run for not the regular time. We have to cut short. It's raining heavily outside, if you can hear it. So we'll do our best to squeeze in and protect our equipment. But first up on the agenda tonight is the issue of Sheikh Kouyaté. Sheikh Kouyaté appeared on the station, was it Monday or so? I think Monday. The Sheikh appeared here. At the end of the show, was almost in tears. Sounded very patriotic, according to those who listen. Sounded as a sophist and all of that. He was orating to us. But at the end of the day, the House of Representatives have said they have no confidence in him. That he didn't genuinely apologize to them, as they requested him to have done on OKFM, the station where he initially made a claim of massive corruption in the House. So they voted unanimously and revoked every confidence they had in him, meaning his ambassadorial job is at stake. That President Boakai should take administrative actions against Sheikh Al-Mustafa Kouyaté, Liberia's ambassador at large. Conor Gray, you are the first on the program, so we'll start in our order to Dr. George, subsequently to Tamba and Wilfred. What's your take on that? Should he have stayed away from politics, apologized? Should he have resigned when he felt like he didn't want to apologize genuinely after he made it seem as if he was coerced to have apologized? Or were there writings on the wall if there is not a good relationship between the Sheikh and the executive no more, and this is just the straw to break the camel's back? Conor Gray, what's your take on that? Sheikh Kouyaté, vote of no confidence.
Diamond, I'm one individual. I always say when you become a person of will or an employee of will, say for instance, I choose to become a soldier. Fundamentally, my freedom is not as unique as somebody who's not a soldier, who is just a civilian, right? Because once I choose to go into the military, it means I've subjugated certain things for being in the army. One, respectability, chain of command. I'm suddenly don't have the extra right that a person who is not in my shoes, would have. So when you become somebody who enjoys the will and pleasure of the persons who hires you, definitely you have to be able to give up some fundamental right. If you want to be a free person, go into civil, what we call civil service. Go, or not even civil service, or just go into the public advocacy. That way, you're your own person and you're defending the fundamental right of something. But as long as you can be told when and how to do business under the chief executive, you should always remember your role, that you lack certain fundamental rights there. Not that they'll take away your human rights, your dignity, but then you're subject to the will and pleasure of the executive. He should have known that before even coming into the public space. I always tell people, if you work at the will and pleasure of the president, why are you coming out as though you are just a civil advocate? You're just out there, advocating for the rights and privilege of other people. You there, definitely if you come out in the public, then you must govern yourself. Few weeks ago, the president had a cabinet meeting where he said people in the diplomatic circle, for instance, should not be coming out in the public to say certain things. If they don't know, they should ask. I think Kuyade violated that particular ordinance, and definitely he's an enemy to his own faith. If I were him, I would have stayed away and try to work this behind the scene. You can't have an edge over your shoulder at the same time you expect to be.
So in short, you're saying he shouldn't have meddled in politics since he's an ambassador at large. Is that what you're saying? And the punishment
that's my point exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So the vote of no confidence by the legislature serves him right.
Well, I don't know the transition between the first branch of government and the executive, but I don't know what this means if the first branch of government, the legislature, says it lacks confidence in you. Maybe in our democratic culture, it means you don't exist at their will and pleasure as well.
So we play the video of the vote being cast in the House, and there is a part of that video where it is stated that to continue to enjoy the cordial relationship that the House of Representatives and the executive enjoys, the president should take the appropriate administrative action. That particular statement alone is a pressure putter right there. Now, look, if you still want us to...
We're not parliamentary democracy. If we're a parliamentary democracy, maybe we could say, where the prime minister is subjected to the will and pleasure of the legislature or the parliament, maybe at that point you can have an argument. But I don't know. I'm totally adept in this direction. I would like to, see more, explore some of the rules of engagement in that area. Other than that, I would say
if the legislature says they lack vote of no confidence, if they pass a vote of no confidence in you, what does that tell the executive?
Well, it's like you're telling me that if the legislature comes out and say they lack confidence in the executive, isn't that something that suggests that it should be impeached? Is that what it is?
Let me just hold you there quickly and get to Dr. George. Dr. George, Sekou Kuyateh, is it gone from that role of ambassador at large?
If we go to precedence, yes. You all remember, you guys are astute journalists, you and Nelson. You remember when the House of Representatives passed a vote of no confidence in Mary Broad with the amazing and significant work she was doing in Liberia. With a heart full of pain, President Ellen Johnson said he had to remove her as mayor of the city corporation. The executive have to work with the legislature, and the legislature, in our constitution, we give them the power of the purse. So if they decide that because they have no confidence in His Excellency Ambassador Sheikh Kuyateh, they can definitely decide to withdraw funds from the foreign ministry or from the amount we put to diplomats, and the government will be crippled. So I'm sure, I mean, at the end of the show, I definitely say in our closing on the show that the fact that he came up to speak, especially the role he played as ambassador for special duties and presidential envoy, that's a powerful ambassadorial assignment. An envoy in diplomatic policy is someone who has the mouth of the president. When an envoy speaks, people believe that it's the president that is speaking directly. So presidents don't just give that title of envoy easily to people until they give it to people that they believe can speak on their behalf. And that he came up to state what he stated, even though it's the truth. It's been recorded by Global Witness. Freedom House has carried it. Many NGOs in Liberia in a report have shown the level of corruption linked to the legislature and giving out of concession contract. It's well documented what he said. But some people's feelings were hurt. And unfortunately, we have this vote of no confidence. 1, 2. As an ambassador at his level, he should always get permission from the president or the minister of foreign affairs to speak. And, some of you may, if you studied in the 60s, Dortmund News ambassadorial appointment as a way to silence a critique. He sent them out, and they couldn't even come back to Liberia without
he knew, Dr. George, that after that appearance on Spoon Talk that night, it was done for him, as you said. That you said it in your closing that he was done. Was all that speech and everything just the last Halloween of a man who knew he was gone?
Oh, Sheikh Kuyateh is a smart and a very brilliant businessman. No way he knew that there were not going to be consequences of the action. Even the video that he recorded that night, going to great revolutionaries and telling them he would not disappoint them, was enough sign to make us understand that he was ready for the consequences of his action. He's a smart man. He's one of the how they call it, the disciples of PLO Lumumba. There's a lot of pictures and internet stuff of both of them moving hand in hand.
Okay.
So
Okay, Dr. George, I'll get back to you. Then let me come to Tamba subsequently, Wilfred and my colleague Nelson here in studio. Tamba, did Sheikh Kuyateh decide to flip this thing around after he was said to have been a coward by going to the house and saying he has come to apologize, and if there was a misunderstanding and all of these things, did he turn it around in a way to say, let me go out as a hero instead of being labeled as a coward who said and then went and retracted? I'd rather go out like that. Do you think that was the play at the end of the day for him to keep that memory of fresh in people's mind that he said this and that's why he was removed?
Yeah, thank you, Daman. A very good question. In my view, I think he attempted, but it backfired on him bigly. And here's why it backfired. Sheikh has presented himself and has built, a name for himself over the years as a businessman who is Pan-Africanist, and as Emmanuel said, he follows PLO Lumumba, one of the most outspoken Pan-Africanists in our day and age today, and which is good. You come in a position as ambassador at large to the presidency. You must know, first of all, your TOR. What are your terms of reference? And obviously, from the last week, it appeared to me that the ambassador, Kuyateh, didn't fully grasp or understand his TOR as an ambassador. The second thing I'm going to say is he has his right as a Liberian, as a human being, as a citizen to express himself. His freedom of expression is protected under the law. However, as ambassador to a government, to a president, you have to follow what the foreign policy of that government is. If you cannot follow what the foreign policy of that government is, then you have no reason to be there as an ambassador to even go out to speak on behalf of the government. If you want to be an advocate, right, you do the needful, and you step aside. But for me, what was eye-opening is that when he went at the legislature, when he was summoned to go for that hearing, he said that the president asked him to apologize. So he came to clarify and apologize. But then coming out of that, you can play the video if you like. He said he didn't apologize. He went to clarify because the president asked him to apologize. I think, first of all, that was a contradiction. If you go to your boss and your boss say, go and apologize, leave this issue because we want a cordial working relationship with the legislature, then you come by, you say you don't apologize. A, that's a contradiction. And B, then basically you are saying you are not going to follow your boss's advice. Then there are two things you can do. Either you get fired or you resign. And look, for me personally,
resigned after he made the contradictory statement according to you and knew fully well he didn't want to apologize and he wanted to maintain that revolutionary stand.
That would have carried him out as a hero. That would have reinforced his credentials as a Pan-Africanist, someone who has conviction and someone who believes in his conviction. But he didn't do that. And I think he lost a lot. And he still has a time to save face. If I were him today, I would submit my resignation. I will be out. Because if I disagree with the president and the president agenda or the president foreign policy, then I have no reason to be in his government. But if I support the foreign policy of the government, I have to align my utterances public.
Thank you, Tamba. Thank you, Tamba. Let me just hold you there quickly. We have a lot of issues to run through, and we have short time to do that. Let me bring on Wilfred Bangura quickly. What's your take on this? Ambassador Sheikh Al-Mustafa Kuyate is in hot waters. The House of Representatives have said they have no confidence in him. They've called on President Bouazizi to do the needful and take the appropriate administrative actions against the ambassador at large. Did he misspeak? Did he overstep? Did he not act ambassadorial? Or he wants the Big Bang out of this space?
Damn, those are very wonderful questions. I must state for the record that Sheikh is my friend. He's a personal friend. And I know Sheikh has a lot of energy, and Sheikh means well for the nation state. If you listen to his arguments, his submissions he will make to you in private or in public, is about the Pan-Africanist ideal, looking forward to the day and time that Africa will rise again and seize upon seizes destiny and makes progress for his people. So he is a man imbued with all of these, great virtues. He wants to see a better Africa, a better Liberia. Sheikh wants that. My only disappointment in him is that he appears that he tends to confuse political activism with the role of an ambassador. So I couldn't disagree with Dr. George and my friend Tamba Aguilas here in the sessions about Sheikh. There's a big dichotomy between playing the role of a political activist and the role of an ambassador. I know this because when I asked him a question on the show, he said, so if you are an ambassador, does that mean that you do not have your personal opinion? Does that mean that you can't speak your mind? So then I knew that my friend Sheikh did not clearly understand his role and this longing he has for political activism. These are two different areas. So one can decide which area you want to serve, which area you want to make hay, which area you want to make a career in. But serving as an ambassador, you really represent the president. When you speak, whatever statement you make, it is construed and believed that that statement was sanctioned by the president, His Excellency the President. That's why you are called His Excellency. Not everybody in the government is referred to by that title. The president is His Excellency. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and all of her ambassadorial corps around the world are referred to as excellencies. So you have to present a letter of credence to the head of government of the receiving country. Whether it's the monarchy, you have to meet the king. If it is a republic, you have to meet with the president. So this is a very big post. You represent the president of your country, the sovereign of the country. And whenever you speak out there, your statement should represent the national interest. So in a nutshell, Diamond, I think what happened today at Capitol Building is a normal legislative process, a normal political thing. The folks at Capitol Building, whether the statement was right or wrong, the folks at Capitol Building can always exercise that vote of no confidence that they have. And whenever that is exercised, it does not automatically mean that the president, should fire the president. But again, because the three branches must coordinate, and the president will not want to have strained relations
with the House of Representatives saying they lack all confidence in Ambassador Kouyaté. And you just mentioned that the cordial relationship that exists between both branches with the House of Representatives taking into consideration the legislature and the executive. What's next? Is President Barker now pushed to the wall to let Ambassador Kouyaté go?
The action of Ambassador Kouyaté has pinned the president to the wall. His action has done that because on the show he was clear. The president asked him to apologize. Now, this is a boss. If he asks you to apologize and you think you cannot apologize, then you should resign. But you cannot continue to keep the job and your boss has asked you to apologize and you render some apology. You came back and say, I did not apologize. I did not apologize. And so, the president would not want to have these strained relations between the executive mansion and the Capitol Building because of... Yes?
The check must go.
Well, where the matter is now, the decision now rests with the president. So the chances are very slim. The president may, if he really wants to retain Sheikh, the president can reach out once again to the leadership to try to see if they can resolve whatever standing impasse they have. Otherwise than that, if the House insists that they cannot work with Sheikh because he's been defiant and disobedient to them, then it pushes the chief executive against the wall to let Sheikh go. So normally once vote of no confidence is passed in you, it means the Liberian people have stated that they cannot work with you. I mean, clearly that is the interpretation. So it means that your chances of continuing in your role are very slim.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me just go around the table quickly. Begin with Conor Gray. Should Sheikh Kouyaté resign or he should wait to see whether President Barker will try to pull last minute strings to keep him on the job? Conor Gray, should he resign?
Diamond, I think Sheikh has beef with two institutions, the office of the president and also the legislature. They have declared, the legislature has declared a vote of no confidence. There are moments when Mary Brodin, serving as acting city mayor, was rejected, which is another form of vote of no confidence by the legislature. She did not go through the confirmation hearing, and she remained in active position as acting mayor, which means she enjoyed the confidence still of the executive. In this case, one of the cardinal rules of diplomacy is privacy, secrecy. When the president asks you to apologize, that should have been a conversation between him and the president, meaning Kouyaté. Now, he has come out in the open. There's a reason why diplomacy, they can say iron curtain. Everything done is done behind some firewall. And now if you came out in the public and make this kind of opinion,
are you now taking this to another stage, Conor Gray, where you're saying he breached confidentiality and he divulged classified information as the president told him to come and apologize, so he came out to say President Barker asked me to apologize?
Oh, he did. That's diplomacy right there. If you remember the guy named Julius Assange, the reason he was locked up by the US was because of those diplomatic breaches. So many other things came out that were not supposed to be in the public. And sometimes when you're in the president, the principal chief foreign policy, disseminator, when an individual tells you something, it's a privacy, it stays behind the iron curtain. If you are a diplomat and you don't know that, then you don't belong in our field. So it's
Shek should resign. I should let go.
I would have just resigned because the president will not be his favorite person anymore. The legislature is letting him to go. So therefore, he's left with no wings to fly. Why is he going to stay in the position if he enjoys the confidence of none of the two branches of government?
Dr. George, you already made your point on this, and you said he should have resigned. My next question to you on this is, politically, is it going to hurt the Unity Party? Does Shek come with a lot of weight, or is it going to be more of a precedent thing that now this government or this House of Representatives and this government is building up itself as a monster that you cannot criticize, that if you do, you'll be let go of, like Yeke and Shek Kuyate and the rest? Dr. George, is that kind of optic that is being portrayed right now, that the speaker is now positioning his house and himself as somebody you cannot criticize if you occupy any sort of government position? If you do, you'll be let go of.
Yes, Diamond. On the one hand, that's what appears to be happening in the country. That from the situation of Prophet Key to Yeke, we see a trend building up. But when it comes to Shek issue, there's this saying in leadership that before you speak truth to your boss, you should be very sure that your boss can take the truth. And it's a sudden thing in leadership training that most time we overlook. There are bosses that can take truth. And this is a situation that my dear friend and brother Shek Kuyate, and for full disclosure too, we have a very good relationship. Shek Kuyate found himself face with. Again, he has a special title. He's not just an ambassador. He's a special envoy. Title in diplomatic parties takes you to another level. You are more respected than an ambassador because you are believed to be the mouthpiece of the president. And the president sends you on special duties on issues that president who like to relate to another president so they can believe that it comes directly to him. That's why you have special envoy or ambassador extraordinaire. So then that's the position he finds himself in. But again, it reminds me about maybe Conor Remy Gray government, the first interim government, with all the doctorate degree holder, all the people who have spent hundreds of years in opposition. Political analysts will tell you that government was not successful because these people, they were struggling between running a government and the political ideologies they have in their mind, and that caused a lot of challenges for the first government. And I think that's the same thing my brother struggled with, struggling between the political ideology he holds so dear to and serving in a special capacity. So yes, Diamond, I believe that I will encourage him to resign, or the president will let him down. Just to put this in, Mary Brough was removed. Conor Gray, she left. President Sirleaf removed her. I think 7 days later, President Sirleaf removed her from the city of Monrovia, and later.
Thank you, Dr. Josh. Thank you, Dr. Josh. Wilfred Bangura, your take on this? Is it that the Speaker in the House of Representatives positioning themselves to be this irreproachable body that you cannot criticize, or you cannot say anything that doesn't float their boat to? We have Yeke gone. Prophet Key also faced similar with the Chief Justice and the judiciary held in contempt, lacking it in sortie for 6 months. He will be out August the 13th. What's your take on this? Or this is just a precedent being set that don't make baseless accusations, especially if you occupy positions that we can hurt you from?
Diamond, I used to work with the House and for some years, if I should say. This has always happened at the legislature. The public has got its own opinion on why the legislature behaves the way it does, but the legislature distinguishes between two groups of people. It distinguishes between people with portfolio, people who work in government, and between the civil society. Had the statement come from somebody from the civil society, the legislature will not have some other person. You can come from. You can be a group of people. You can go on and make accusations or allegations about the legislature, make claims about them. In recent legislative history, I have not read anywhere or seen where they will call you. But when you occupy a position in government, they take your statements seriously. Okay. Now the question of whether they should not be calling, officials of the government who will make inflammatory statements or big statements against them, that is a question for another debate. Because as a body, if they feel that your statement is inimical to their integrity and it undermines their integrity or defaces the reputation of the legislature, they may invite you to render clarification. But more so, if you are an ambassador, the case with Sheikh, the ambassador, this is not just an ordinary person. My colleagues who have spoken to this have made a very important submission. You represent His Excellency the President. You are a special envoy. Ambassador at large, you are roving. This is a very big portfolio. So if you should speak, and Dr. George has been keen on asking, did you get clearance? The statements you make should be cleared by your bosses, should be cleared by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or it should be cleared by the Executive Marshal. Because when you speak, people don't look at that as Sheikh Kuyateh speaking. They consider your statement as the voice of the President of the Republic of Liberia. Period. You are his special envoy. So this is the reason why the legislature, took this seriously, because they want to know whether this is really Joseph Boakai who is speaking, who is authorizing his ambassador at large to make the comments that he made. But if the president says that go and apologize to the people, and he wouldn't apologize, then it leads to a strained relations between the executive marshal and the Capitol building, and the president's legislative agenda will have to move forward. The arrest agenda will have to move forward. And if you are a lieutenant in his government and you want to be tough and you want to bring that body against his branch of the government, he is the one now who sits in that seat to make the call. And normally, from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to our President Weah to President Boakai, the chief executive will always.
Thank you, so we can move to another thing. So all of you guys on the show have said Sheikh Kuyateh erred, and whatever punishment that comes his way is just. And whether the president reassigns him or the president, fires him entirely, whatever administrative action will be taken, all of you have said, as an ambassador that he is, he should have spoken when he was given clearance to. And if he wants to be a revolutionary, as he says, he's a student of a lot of revolutionaries, he should give out the ambassadorial title and stick to being a revolutionary. We saw similar happen with Andrew Wemplu or so, the guy who was at the Ministry of Information when that whole Nicotech thing happened, and he spoke passionately about it. Well, we know how that story ended. And there was a lot of talk that he should have followed the chain of command, and he should have, listened to his bosses and speak like a person in government. And if he wanted to speak out of government, he should have resigned from that position, and we know how that story ended. But the next issue that we move into, gentlemen, is I'm sorry that we're running into these topics, is because we have limited time. At least everybody can have the opportunity to have their say. There's one issue about Ballard, and there's one issue about hiring lobbying firms and all of these things. And just prior to coming on the show, we just got another information from a confidential source that even the foreign affairs minister is not on this. Again, that is from a confidential source, and we will speak to the minister whether or not, well, she will definitely be on the side of the government in whatever they do, to come out and say she's not on board. But what we're hearing in the grapevine is she's not on board with this particular lobbying contract and all of that. Now, let's start with this whole issue with you, Conor Gray. Lobbying, is it accepted? Should the government be hiring lobbying firms? Is it a new thing to Liberia and the geopolitical landscape to lobby in influential capitals or with international organizations? What is lobbying, Conor Gray? And let the Liberian people get to understand that from you before you can tell us whether it's accepted or whether it yields benefits or not.
You know, what is lobbying? Lobbying is an act of selling your national policy. It could be a platform as a government to influential leaders of leader nations of the world. The United States is one of the key allies that anybody should seek their policy, to sell their policy to, so to speak. Diplomacy entails different sectors. And sometimes what the executive would do, meaning the president would do to sell his policy out there, may not necessarily go through the foreign ministry. So there's this contention between agencies that are responsible, that the president would designate. For instance, I think Madam Salif used to use maritime to get to River Chambliss, River Stevenson Levinson, is that her name? The lady, the chief individual who was responsible as the lobbyist for Madam Salif's administration. So successive governments have come in to use that same corridor. President Weah, understand, use her and use also the gentleman from South Carolina, I've forgotten his name, but or North Carolina, it was he who was chief lobbying guy for President Weah and his group. So the thing about it is this: if you want to make sure that you get in the heads of foreign government, more so the U.S., you have to have a mediator between your government and that corridor, that entity. Otherwise, you exist in shadow. Even Kagame has lobbyists. Everybody does. If you don't, you're in isolation. The world is no longer, an island. Everybody is interrelated somehow. So if you want people to look your way it's a competitive space. If you have so many governments going for this particular space, you better have a position there also for somebody to push your interests. It's all about national interest and how you disseminate that in the foreign sphere. Yeah, so lobbying is a legitimate thing. I don't see why people make noise about this kinds of way of getting in the heads of other government. If you're not in the heads of the U.S. or you're not in the head of the U.S., so I don't know whether you can exist successfully as a government.
1.2 million, Conor Gray. There are those who are equating what the 1.2 million can get done in Liberia. They're saying it can provide ambulances for hospitals, better our healthcare system, provide more chairs and more incentives for teachers, even those who are volunteer teachers. People have been putting value to the 1.2 as compared to paying that fee annually to a lobbying firm. Do you stand to gain more when you have lobbying firms on your side, that we can say, look, the 1.2 is going to give us more than what we paying, Conor Gray? Put value to what it is.
We always have this we circumvent what should have been done. It's like the man standing up watching people playing checkers on the board. They always have the idea, but put them behind the board, they can't even make the first move. So this is what this is. If you're a government competing in the foreign sector, definitely you have to have a representative there that will push your packet through, especially in a crowded zone. So if you ask me whether or not this money should be used for something else, there will always be people that will come and tell you the money that you pay legislature, take it and develop your school. They will always find, you're talking about ambulance. Yesterday I saw a parade of ambulances, I think 15, 16, 20 of them that will be distributed to all the counties.
Value for money, Conor Gray. Before I go to Dr. George, 1.2 from lobbying firms, is there a guarantee or there are assurances, value for money, that you stand to benefit more than that?
You always stand to benefit. You see, Madam Salif, we're talking about $15 billion was sourced through foreign entities to come into Liberia. Even though you can probably say, well, the money I'm hearing does not match the value, but it's not true.
Conor Gray, you on record of criticizing the CDC administration for paying lobbyists and lobbying firms back then. So why was it bad back then, but it's good now, Conor Gray?
It's your responsibility as a journalist to provide evidence that I spoke.
So you supported the CDC government for paying lobbying firms back then?
Yeah, I said it was long overdue. They should have done it. Otherwise, if they had done it adequately, nobody was going to be sanctioned.
So which one you saying now? They didn't do it adequately, or you didn't support them doing it at all?
They did it, but they didn't do as adequately as they should have. So which means I support the idea of lobbying. If you have anything otherwise, hey, just post it. I'll
leave you there, Conor Gray. Let's come to Dr. George. Dr. George, 1.2 million. We've seen the debate on social media. What's your take on the government hiring a lobbying firm? What we're hearing from supporters of the government, and these informations coming in from highly placed sources that look, I'm just reading from. I'm going to paraphrase this message because I cannot read it word for word. But this is from a top government official justifying why they hired this lobbying firm. So it's not anything that the government is denying, but this is the justification. So this top government official is saying, look, yes, the contract is legit and it's normal. It's consultancy, and it's a normal course of work around the world, especially engagement of professional advisors and advocacy firms. So this is to give us leverage in Washington, D.C., to put our issues and strengthen our bilateral relations, promote national economic diplomacy, and enhance engagement with policymakers and private sector. So the government is confident that this engagement, will help advance Liberia's strategic objectives and deepen relations with the U.S. So I'm not going to read the rest of the message, but that is a very top government official justifying why the 1.2 million is going into this lobbying firm to make sure that Liberia gets ears and eyes in the rooms and is represented as well. Dr. George, let's hear you out. Lobbying, 1.2, should we have been using this money for something else? Or from your own experience, this is going to bring much more benefits than what the 1.2 is going to serve?
Well, I don't know why sometimes we become hypocritical with issues that's something we do all the time. I'm not against lobbying. It's a serious part of governance. First of all, we Liberians should understand our country is important. The only reason why people call us sovereign nation because on July 26, 1847, we declare independence. After that, we got nothing to offer many things. Our diplomacy.
So you think we're not sovereign country, we're just playing sovereignty? Is that what you say?
We are not a serious nation. But let me leave that. Not the argument for tonight. We'll be there for a long time. After that, in the last couple of years, we have not improved on our diplomatic agency. Our embassies are in shambles and ruins. Our ambassadors are underpaid. People working in our embassy, they are working on scraps. When you have a nation like this, you degrade your ambassadors. They are not properly trained, so you need to hire people who can enter into the room. That's the reason why we hire lobbyists. We need people who can put our name on the table, who can put our name on the list. This week, many of you were clapping that Liberia has been selected as one of the countries to issue visa. You think it came with all anybody talking about Liberia in some kind of room? You think that overnight decision that took place? With the current geopolitical situation, it's important with the stance that the United States of America have taken and the stance that other countries are taking in the world. It's important for you to have someone who can whisper in the ears of policymakers. And that's the reason we hire lobbyists. So it's good to have the law. My question is, perhaps I did not do the research, so I cannot speak to it. It's the ability of the lobbyists to give us what we want. I think that's where we should be arguing and researching. This firm.
You're talking about a firm, the ballot firm.
Exactly. This firm that we hire. Who are the people in that firm? The people in the firm put Liberia name on a list. If President Burger visits the U.S. for the UN General Assembly, will he be able to have people who influence policy as part of his conversation when he comes to this country? That's what we should be looking out for. So again, I apologize. I did not research before I come on the show about this consultancy firm and the people who work there. But I think they're where we need to look at. Not lobbying. There is no government under this sun that even this office I'm sitting, I just coming from lobbying with my chief financial officer right now. Because
so Dr. George, let me just read a bit about this firm, because we have the documents and all of these things here, but I'm just going to paraphrase what they're all about. Even the former mayor of Monrovia, Jefferson Koji, in his write-out, if you read that write-out, he has in that write-out that the powerful lobbying firm. So he even referred to the firm as a powerful lobbying firm. Now, this company was established in 1998, so that's 28 years ago. The founder is one Brian D. Ballard. So if you look at the documents, you see his name is there, his signature. They're based in Tallahassee, Florida. And what we're seeing here is, according to this research, that they have strong ties to the Trump administration, and they were influential, whatever way, that Pam Bundy, the former chief of staff or so of the White House, Susie Wiles and the rest, they got strong ties and all of these things. You were talking in 2017, they opened an office in Washington, D.C. following Trump's first election victory. So what we're saying is, in 2025, they were rated by one website called, or one group called Open Secrets, described them as one of the top lobbying firms in the country. So for the United Party government to have gone for them, that signals something that the government might have done a lot of researching and came up with this company as what they think is the company that got the strongest ties to be able to put them in rooms that they couldn't themselves put themselves. So Dr. George, you can continue. So you can do the rest of the research.
Yeah, I would do. I'm just taking from you. If that is the case, then I think the government have hired a firm that has the ears of the president. I mean, Susan Wiles is the president, chief of staff, and well respected in the MAGA circle. So if she is or how to call it connected to this firm, I believe, without doing research again, I believe it's a good thing. Lobbying is not bad. I mean, I don't know why people criticize it. There's not a single government, even the U.S. government lobby. And quite recently they got a $400 million presidential jet for Qatar. You did that for free, you got to let everybody.
All right, Dr. George, so you are saying you're in for it. My last question before I go to Tamba, value for money, the 1.2, 100,000, a month and all of these things, is it going to give us dividends?
Look, I criticize this government, so many of you know that I criticize this government. But let's look at the scorecards. President Boyka was one of the few African presidents that were invited to meet with President Donald Trump. That's a check mark. It did not happen overnight. It did not happen overnight. Someone was working. Our foreign minister have had some significant conversation with the Department of Foreign the Secretary of State, and those significant meetings did not happen overnight. Somebody was working. Quite recently, we have the situation with the U.S. embassy, even though we can look at it two sides, being granted the one in Liberia as one of the visa influence embassy in Africa. That did not happen overnight, even though we can argue that the U.S. couple of years ago invested $230 million in building that embassy. So there's no way that they won't make it a significant embassy. But at the end of the day, that decision was made. It did not happen overnight. So yes, in as much as we criticize the government for not doing, I think lobbying is working on behalf of Liberia.
And one point quickly, guys, that we need to make is that we need to let our people know that lobbying is not only to governments. You can hire lobbyists to enter the room in international organizations, multinational corporations, and the rest. They have connections to all those places. And one thing I've always criticized all of the governments that I've seen since I started practicing as a journalist in Liberia is the fact that we go to these international meetings like the UNGAs and the rest of these, and we do not have meaningful sidebars interactions. We see other countries, like I follow other presidents across Africa, when they travel for these meetings and these workshops and summits and the rest, they have a lot of meaningful sidebars. Like when the president of Ghana went to, was it Japan or Korea, and President Bouakai was in that same space, the president of Ghana was having meetings with serious, corporations and international organizations and multinational companies, and we were not doing those things. Does lobbying also play a part in these things, like having this lobbying firm? When you go to UNGA, you go to other places, you get to be put in rooms with decision makers, not just government officials, Tamba?
Yeah, thank you, Diamond. I have a view on this lobbying, and I'm going to, align with Emmanuel on one point, but I disagree with Emmanuel when he says we are not a serious country. I disagree with you fundamentally because I think Liberia, we are a serious country. We may be having leadership challenges since 1847, 180 years close, but we are getting there. There may have been mishaps, civil wars along the way. We almost destroy an entire generation, but we are getting there. We are striving as a nation, and we are making those changes. And
so what are your own classification, like serious country or very serious country, or it's not serious? Not a serious country.
Very serious country. And here's where I'm gonna bring in the issue of lobbying. So we are a serious country, and lobbying is about what? It's about brandishing an image, right? And every government, as Emmanuel have said, or even politician, I'm sure even Emmanuel's own political leader have invested in lobbyists to go and speak for him on his behalf, to get him and get
in lobbyists to speak on your behalf.
And his name mentioned in certain circles because he's seeking the presidency, or he was seeking the presidency of Liberia. So everybody do that. Everybody does that, right? Or every government does that. But the question I align with is, what is the value for money? What are we getting in return? If we go back to the Madame Salif presidency, they spent millions of dollars, and Madame Salif became the darling of the West. You know how much foreign direct investment flowed into Liberia during the presidency of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? Because she paid lobbyists to do that. During the presidency of former President George Banneret Weah, according to my research, they used between 3 to 5 lobbying firms during their 6 years term. They spent millions of dollars during that period. But what happened? Despite all that they were doing, George Weah ministers got sanctioned. They got placed on sanction because of their what? Of their stewardship, of the corruption that was uncovered and other things that were happening during his administration. You know why? They were not able to change the mind of Washington, D.C. because of their action, because of what they were doing. And look, and according to, and let me cite International Consortium of Investigators, lobbying is often viewed as a poor investment for African countries. It is, because there are what? Diminishing returns. Research shows that those millions of dollars we are investing in lobbying, if our governments were doing the right thing, investing in education, clamping down in corruption, right? And healthcare, and that would brandish, protecting human rights, that would brandish the image of the government. And eventually you attract other governments that want to talk to you, they want to emulate, they want to be your friends. Washington.
Let me just interrupt you a bit. Are you saying do your best on the ground and others will see what you're doing?
That's the best approach. Let me tell you, if you have a government that is responsible, that is ethical, that is transparent, that is doing all of these things, and your scorecards are really improving, you don't have to pay Washington lobbyists millions of dollars. Your foreign ministry, your ambassadors of large, like Kuyate now, these are the people who should be going out and speaking. Because Kuyate should be out. Kuyate should be out completely.
But Tama, you agree with me now? You list all the seriously they say with serious.
We are damn serious, man.
Make your point so that we can go to Bangura quickly. So you're saying that this government shouldn't invest 1.2 million in lobbying? That's what you're saying. They should rather invest in doing
what I'm saying is this: let's not commit our government to a 1 year or 5 year contract that CDC did for 6 years and spend $2-3 million without return on investment. If we need to address a particular issue, say for example, we want to get that MCC compact. We know that we need our name to be in a room in certain places in Washington, D.C. Then maybe it should be tied to that specific project with specific outcomes tied to it. That's the kind of investment I am in favor of. I'm not saying they shouldn't invest in lobbying, but there's diminishing returns on investment when we invest in
just so we understand quickly. You saying focus on a particular subject matter, something that you want to achieve, some project, some grant, some loan that is going to give you huge returns, and contact or contract a lobbying firm to go in that direction for you rather than all around the place and trying to see what's available for you. Is that what you're saying? If that is what is to be done?
Because just throwing money at international lobbies is not going to get your image burnished. That's what I'm trying to say. Because we saw what happened during the CDC regime. But if you can target where you're going to invest your money so you can get a return on investment, and then focus on your domestic agenda, do those things that will attract other international partners to say this government is doing the right thing for their people, right? Being ethical, being transparent, being accountable, the rule of law, so that justice is seen as not serving one group of people, but as serving. If you meet those basic things that the people need in your country.
Just one quick question for you quickly.
Yes.
Do you think, Samuel Sakama just took that out of my mind, and Conor Gray and Dr. George, you can answer with, I'll get to you just in a minute. Do you think if you do all of these things back home and you invest in your people and you do all of those things, do you think you still do not need somebody in the right room at the right place to whisper the word in the right ear to get you that right attention and to keep reminding the policymakers, the cream that are cream of our decisions are made, that this is what's happening in this country, this what's happening, that's the reason they need this, that's why we should look at. Do you think you can do all of these things and still negate having the right whisperer in the room for you as a lobbying firm or some influential firm?
Well, it's not what I'm saying, Danny. What I'm saying is, as long as you are doing the right things, right, and other governments around the world, human rights organizations begin to talk about you, you become the topic because you are at the top, and those stories, will attract international attention. People want to come in to talk to people. I mean, if you see children now, say for example, we are at a point where you have computer labs across Liberia, where you have schools that children are not sitting on the floor, or schools that are not leaking roof. And then you see those images and you see the improvement across the country. That's obviously attract international coverage, right? But you will always, from time to time, I think see what project you need to invest in.
Yeah, Dr. George,
it's beyond that. Maybe if I knew that another two.
If I get to Wilfred,
Dr. George want me to change my mind.
No, if we knew say another chief, for example, is Lionel Messi or what his name Ronaldo the best footballer in the world? The answer at the end of the day may be no. They are the best footballers in the world because someone gave them an opportunity and put them in a room, and they made use of that opportunity with the skills they have. There are thousands of young men in Liberia that may have better skills, but someone need to open that door, and that's where lobbying comes from. Why is it in the first term of the current government here, people were countries were purchasing rooms for years at Mar-a-Lago. countries who are better than Liberia, the Middle East, why would the government of Qatar invest $400 million? So it's not lobbying is trying to position yourself for the next big opportunity. Position your country for the next big opportunity. So yeah, you can be, you can definitely be successful, but for that big opportunity, you need someone to push you up there, someone in the room to push you up there, and that's why people love it. So it's not only countries, even the big companies in this country, in the US here, they all lobby for the opportunities of having defense contract, government contract. They all lobby and they spend millions of dollars.
Emmanuel, we all agree that companies lobby, countries lobby, right? But my position is it should be project-based, specific for something that we need.
You have said different positions on this show.
Okay, let me
Your
say
first
this.
position was yes, we should focus on doing the right things back home, and then it will push you up into the room and your name will rise up above the fray in conversations. Then you came back again and said, look, you should focus, if you are going to lobby, you should focus on one thing, one contract, one grant, one loan, some project, and then push your focus towards that and let the lobbyists do that for you. So which one you saying? But before you answer that question, let me go quickly to Wilfred Bangura. Wilfred, what's your take on the Unity Party-led government having a $1.2 million contract with Ballard, lobbying firm there in Washington, D.C.? The government has not come out to debunk that. We have strong top members of the government justifying that. They're saying it's going to put you in the room, it's going to bring up good bilateral relations between the U.S. and other international organizations and multilateral companies. What's your take on this whole issue of lobbying? The Tamba way, do what you have to do in the country and let your name rise above the fray, or the Dr. George and Conor Gray's way, you still need somebody in that room to talk about you. You still need to be heard. Meetings need to happen, and hence the 1.2 million, even though we have a lot of issues in the country, it's still a good investment.
Diamond, that is a very interesting question. Every country in this world has got lobbyists, and that is a fact. According to Open Secret, you can look it up. There are more than 13,000 lobbying firms in the United States. Most of these firms are made out of former.
You go look at Open Secret.
I'm quoting a source, which is authoritative.
Open Secret. I think because I mentioned Open Secret, so you go to Open Secret too.
No, but I have researched this long ago, so I know that Open Secret is that body that reports. They do transparent reporting. I even researched Harvard Law Review's definition of lobbying. So I have done a wide range of.
Go ahead, tell us what your research is.
It's great that you also reached out and looked at Open Secret. So there are more than 13,000 lobbying firms, registered lobbying firms in the United States. And most of these firms are made out of former congressmen, former state legislators, and former officials or former staffers of Congress. These people who understand the ways of Washington, who understand the halls of Washington, who understand how to move about, to will and do in Washington. These people normally will establish their own lobbying firm, to represent the clients. And of course, in America, you have the Chamber of Commerce. It's a big lobbying firm that goes to Congress and lobbies Congress for certain laws, certain bills to be enacted to improve the climate of trade in the United States. Even Boeing is also a firm. So there are lots of lobbying firms, more than 13,000 of them. With this firm, Ballard is one of the top-notch lobbying firms. The gentleman who owns that firm is a very close confidant of Donald Trump, President Trump. He's very close to President Trump, and so many pundits will even tell you that he's got the ears of the president of the United States. So his firm has a great reputation of delivering for their clients. So if you look at the powers of the world, the homogenic powers of the world, the international system, the people who dominate it are very few countries. And the white man is very shrewd. You can look at the political economy analysis of African countries. After the devastating war of Europe, the establishment of the Bretton Woods Institution, the World Bank, the WTO, the IMF, these institutions, and the 100-day plans of Harry Truman. So the white man set up these various institutions we call the Bretton Woods Institution to still continuously have this indirect control of the African continent and its resources, and decisions that are made in Africa should be influenced largely by him. You find this in the Francophone countries and Anglophone countries. So yes, the colonialists have left, the new colonialists have left, but the ideology continues to permeate Africa. So African countries that are considered on the peripheral will definitely need to be in touch with Washington, with powerful capitals of the world, where decisions that are made there will affect their countries. And so this is where I disagree with Tamba. You can do all of the development in your country, Tamba. You can build the skyscrapers, you can do whatever. But decisions that are made here, because you are part of the interconnectedness of the global world, the international system. The white man sits there and they make decisions that will affect your country. It will affect your economy. It will affect something in your country. You need to have people in the room. Because mind you, in our democracy, we have opposition people who are also lobbyists. They hire lobbyist firms to get into the ears of powerful people in Congress and to explain to them.
That's the thing. And for value for money, since you've researched this firm, is it a good decision by this government? This government,
absolutely, it is. Absolutely,
are we going to get value for money as compared to what others are saying? This 1.2 could have done in Liberia.
But you can even see the dividends of the value for money. I mean, so the countries that were listed recently, I beg your pardon?
What are some? You said we can already see the dividends. What are some of
the dividends? So Liberia is going to be a major, hub for visa acquisition. Many countries are going to come here. So
make this make sense to the ordinary Liberian. Visa fees are paid directly to the U.S. embassy through their accounts. How do we benefit as a country, Bangura? I might understand that, but make it make sense with Mawata how we make sense for us.
Mawata's son might be in America, or her daughter is in America. As a result of the civil crisis here, many Liberians, ended up abroad, and they are there. They are looking for means to get Mawata, Ma Mary, Ma Annie, Ma Yebu, and all the other, people, their mothers and their fathers from the interiors, and take them to the United States to give them a better life, better opportunity. So if your country is excluded and you can't file for visa for Mawata's son in the United States cannot send for her because Liberia is not on that list, it's a fundamental problem, because you cannot get Mawata traveling all the way to South Africa or North Africa to go and process a visa. You will worry about accommodation, where she's going to be sleeping, where she's going to live, and the accommodation, the expenses. And, so the people who even want to send for her might change their minds and think about, so the Mawata will just send something for you. But a lot of Liberians, according to Open Secret, in fact, there are more than 90,000 Liberians right now living in the United States. So what it does is that it opens rooms and opportunities for Mawata and her grandchildren to go to the American embassy in Liberia, in their own country here, where they will not have to spend lots of money, and to apply for their visa. So other Mawatas in other African countries are going to be now worried how they can come to Liberia. And whilst they are coming to Liberia, they will pay for hotel when they come here. They will pay for food when they come here. They will pay for transportation when they come here. Those monies will stay in the economy. So it's a big deal. And like I told you, we are already seeing the signs.
Just give us the dividends quickly of this lobbying deal, because you say we are already seeing the dividends. I'm looking at this. It says this thing was just signed a couple of days ago. So where are the benefits or the dividends that we see in less than 3 days or 4 days? Or were they working behind the scenes?
The dividends of lobbying. I'm talking about the dividends of lobbying. The dividends of having strong lobbies opening doors for you. They are the Minister of Foreign Affairs having meeting with Elon Musk on the global stage, and Elon Musk is calling her phone. Elon Musk is calling the president. Of course, it can be attributed to having very powerful lobbies reaching out, knocking these doors, opening these doors.
The screenshot, the telephone call that we saw President Waka, and reportedly Elon Musk, la lobbyist did it.
Listen, the way government works, I'm explaining to you. Government uses lobbies in powerful countries to connect powerful people to their leaders, to open doors for them. So, but you gotta listen now. Let me conclude. If you have a government that is not interested in getting out there, making your case, and changing narratives, as we speak, there are people in this country who are sending wrong narratives to their lobbyists, and their lobbyists will get there. So the politics is played on even higher scale. Their lobbyists will get there and try to convince those powerful Congress people that X, Y, and Z is happening in the country. Extrajudicial killing is happening. The country is going back, and X, Y, and Z. But your lobbyists will go and say, no, that's not the case. This is the picture of the Liberia we have. So lobbyists play a very key role in helping the foreign policy, agenda of the country in powerful countries in this hegemonic world where decisions are made by powerful countries that tends to affect your country. You need people there sitting at the table and opening doors, pushing the case for you. Madam Sirleaf did this very well. So by hiring this firm, which is one of the best firms we have, we can be very confident that Liberia is going to rise, it's going to sail, it's going to move on, enter into rooms that were shut before it will be open, because the lobbies, are well connected with this firm. We can be assured that we
Thank you. Let me chime in this a little bit too. Can I?
Yeah, we're gonna agree, so we can move to our last.
You talk about dividend. Look, there are so many other things. You think the compact, Millennium Compact, or whatever it is, the Compact Corporation, you think all of these kinds of donor-driven aids that will be coming to Liberia just come accidentally? It's not going to be given to you on a silver platter. But yes, one of the reasons why sometimes people get in their feeling when people like us stuck. But I don't come at people with all forgetting that I have common sense. It was not till the end of the last administration towards the end before they reach out to a gentleman named Bakari Sellers to sell the policy. At that time, you're almost hitting the pavement, and then you're hiring somebody to hold you before you hit the pavement. You're already there. The thing about this is that the prior administration before President Weah's administration impressed on them, because we all know President Weah came to power through Madam Sirleaf's, willing and dealing. We can almost give you a clear-cut case about how they came to power. Madam left some of these kinds of means of survival with them, but they ignore it. Have you ever wondered why somebody like Kagame, a country that practically has no opposition, you think it just happened? They don't talk about them. They only bring the good side of that man. Anybody who says in Rwanda, you're gone. But you ever wonder why don't take shape in the international circle? Is because they have powerful people who can reach out and make sure they sell the good side of the government. Ghana is also involved in that kinds of things. Lots of lynching goes on in Ghana, but you don't hear it. It is because they have people who are putting the good word of the administration up on the on the platform for discussion, and not the bad ones. So what Tamba is saying, I don't see it totally impossible, but it's not totally true either. If you just say, just do the right thing and nobody will talk about you, then Rwanda probably would be one of the most widely discussed in the countries in the world in terms of human rights. There's no opposition there. All of the opposition have been nabbed, yanked down, sent to jail, brutalized, eliminated. And that's the kind of country we're talking about. Do you hear that bad side about Rwanda? No.
Okay, Conor Gray.
Lobbyists are the ones making it possible.
Thank you. So just to the issue, of lobbying as we move to our closing, because I said we wouldn't, exhaust the entire 3 to 4 hours regularly on the program because it's thundering here. But lobbyists will get you the ears. It's true. We've seen countries that it's not only about foreign leaders. Again, we keep limiting, the strength of lobbyists to foreign leaders only. But there are international organizations and multinational corporations and organizations that these lobbyists can, enter rooms with and put your conversation there. But my thing is, what will be the proceeds that we want to see as a country? Tamba struck a point. Are we going for specific projects? Are we going for specific aims? Like, okay, we want these companies to come in and look at our mineral development sector. How can they come in? We want to attract these people. We're looking at some kind of grant that we want Liberia to benefit from. Or is it just about, having your name being mentioned in rooms? Are we targeting some funds, some developmental funds that will be coming up in budgets? Are they advising us on what strategic notes to be able to send to our counterparts to strengthen bilateral engagements and relationships? What is the point? Or are we just throwing this 1.2 out there and say, look, whenever we need something, let our name be out there, let people know that we're doing good and all of these things? What are we targeting? Good name, or are we targeting tangibles? And that's where we need to see the real benefits of this. We want to see when President Braga goes to the UNGA, what meetings he's having on the side. Are these lobbyists? The thing is just in September. You have to start arranging these things now. We want to see better meetings and sidebar conversations, not just the regular thing. You go, you address, you come, and other nations are making strides and attracting serious foreign investors to their countries, and we are not doing these things. That's why we need to focus on it. And Wilfred, you said it right again. For Liberia being selected as a visa hub, that's a good thing. It reminds me of when you're traveling to the southeast, when we really had those bad road networks between Kranjida and Nimba thereabout. There are a lot of places that when your car gets stuck, you will sleep there, and it used to boost the economy of those villages. When they started paving the road, remember they had a protest, Bangura. There was a serious protest. People were protesting. They started digging the road and said, look, if you people fix this road, the money that we used to get, we'll not get it again. When cars get stuck in the mud and we put them for their Tesla like $50, truck like $100 and all that kind of stuff, how women were selling. So people were benefiting from the misfortune of others. But this is not a misfortune for Liberia. It might be a misfortune for other countries that will be coming to our country. But we have experienced it. We've left our country to go to other countries to get visas. You have to pay accommodation, hotel or Airbnb. My experience was you will go to another firm that will collect the documents on behalf of that embassy. In fact, you're not even go to the embassy to submit your documents. You submit your document to another company. That company will then go and submit your documents to the embassy, and that company is employing only their nationals. So that's employment as well. So being selected as a visa issuing hub for the US is going to benefit us indirectly because the Americans will collect their visa fees, but we will be collecting accommodation from those that are coming in. We will be collecting different taxes from people that will be paying their GSTs when they buy food and others and pay for other services. People who will come in for their visas will say, okay, let me explore Liberia for a while. Since I'm here for a number of days, let me go and check out the beaches. Let me go and see what they have as tourist attractions and all of these things. And it can help boost our economy if we work it the right way. And that's a good thing politically on the international scene as well, that we've been selected. By the end of the day, we have to make the most out of it. All of you said on the show that some conversations might have happened that got us to be selected. Someone mentioned that the Americans invested $230 million in building their embassy, and they couldn't just leave it like that, and all of these things. Whatever that went into that, we should cash in out on it. And for me personally, as a Liberian, I've gone to other countries to get visas, so it's in my interest that others can come here too. That Susu, for them to also experience what it means to leave your country and come and get visa in another country. So guys, we're wrapping up. I'm beginning with you, Conor Gray. We had a lot of things to talk about, but again, you know, I've been pressed by time. My buzz is on my back that we should close within under 2 hours. So Conor Gray, what's your closing comment? We talk about Sheikh Kouyaté and what might be in stock for him in terms of whether or not he will resign or he will be repositioned or fired by President Boakai. We talked about the lobbying firm, the 1.2 million. Again, the government has not come out to debunk that. Rather, we've had a lot of top government officials justifying why this 1.2 is needed to pay lobbyists rather than other things being done back home. So we start in the order as how we came on the show. Conor Gray, Dr. George, Tamba, and then Wilfred will close us for tonight. Conor Gray, your parting comments, your closing on all of what we've discussed.
I mean, great conversation tonight. Visa tourism, we all know definitely will benefit Liberia. Those of us who are more interested in investing in real estate and Airbnb and so on and so forth, this could serve as important, important sources of collecting revenue for our country. The government just needs to be able to look into it, how they can generate taxes from some of these activities. That's one of the greatest vision anybody can have right now when you have your country being designated. I know it cost me a lot when we used to go the Ivory Coast and other places to get European visa. You don't just walk in, walk out. You have to leave some money there. So you take all that cost into consideration. It's expensive. And Liberia being a designated hub, that makes it that's the good news. And then furthermore, look, Kouyaté broke a diplomatic expectation. When you serve as the eyes and ears of the president, who is the chief foreign policy guy, when you have a discussion behind the Iron Curtain with him, you don't come out in the public to share it. If Kouyaté could make a very good, like I said, if he wants to be in the civic society, then he can be there and just forget about being to work at the will and pleasure of someone else. He can work at the will and pleasure of the people by advocating on their behalf. But if you want to work in that sector where he's at right now, then you have to be able to hold on to some privacy. You don't come out and say, they forced me to do this. Nobody should be able to force you to apologize. The president just gave you a suggestion that, look, you said this about the House of Legislature, you besmirched their name, their character, you have no proof, no evidence. Go and apologize. That's the most common thing to do. But if he sees that as something like they're dictating to him, then leave the job and go be a common advocate for Liberians. There are so many folks who have done that and they're still doing it. It serves the people well, but you can't serve two masters. When it comes to this issue of lobbying, Slanger, I can tell you that, again, let me make myself clear. If what Madam Salif left as a means of survival for the successive administration, which was Mr. Weir's administration, they would probably have been one of the most favorable governments at that time. But they didn't see that as anything important to lobby. Why am I going to go pay that amount of money to anybody? It was not till they start hitting the pavement before they start looking for the likes of Bakari sellers. But then it was late. And I would believe that this government did not just start engaging the services of a lobby firm just yesterday when they signed an agreement. Nobody would think that. They've been doing that since the advent of being in government in the first place. If you want to survive in this hemisphere that we live in, you got to spend to gain more. That's why it is. That's what all this is all about.
Thank you, Conor Gray. It's good to have had you on the program as always. Dr. George, you're closing on the two topics we talked about. I know you still want to talk about Tommy Songo, but if any on the coast, probably he might make the team to Minnesota. Who knows? But let's hear you out on the two topics we touched on today. There are a lot of things, but we only had time to talk about two.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you, Diamond, for anchoring the show. Thank you, Conor Gray, for being a part of this conversation, Tamba and the Honorable Ben Gura. Also want to thank those of you who are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and listening to us on various radio stations and television stations in Liberia. Every one of us read the Global Witness report. We are aware of sitting senator being sanctioned by the United States of America Treasury Department. We're also aware of a senator who was sanctioned by the U.S. government first because of a report from Global Witness, the cyber money issue. So there are a lot of reports out there that shows that at a level, concession agreement seems to be and appears to be a very, very corrupt entity, and the legislature is at fault with this. We know about that. And we know that even Chief Ato Ise report shows that his first sojourn in Liberia, he paid members of the legislature for his contract to be passed. So it's not a hidden secret. What Sheikh Coyote share is an open secret. You can get on Google, talk to Mr. Google, just write, and it's going to come up on your screen. He was right. Said. Unfortunately, he happens to be a key member of this government. He's the special envoy to the president of Liberia. And therefore, there are certain things at that level you need clearance to have. But he did not say anything wrong. That the national legislature have decided to do the same thing that it did to Mary Broad, that today we are suffering from the repercussion of dirt in Monrovia. Do you all remember how Monrovia used to be clean when Mary Broad was the city mayor? But because of envy, jealousies, and some of the utterance she had, the Liberian legislature had a vote of no confidence, and President Sirleaf had to remove her from the city of Monrovia. This is the same thing we see. Another person may have spoken, and now our legislature have voted no confidence. That's why we need to have a serious government to make our country a serious country. And that's why I support Mr. Alexander Gambandi Cummings. Because the legislature under him will understand that freedom of speech is an important tool in any democratic dispensation.
But freedom of speech, Dr. George, doesn't it come with responsibility, especially as an ordinary citizen, it comes with responsibility. If you clothe with an authority as well, it comes with extra precautionary responsibility?
Yes. So as I conclude, lobbying, as I said, is not a wrong thing. Most government in the world participate in it, even countries that are far richer than Liberia.
Let me just jump in quickly, Dr. George. Tamba accused your leader of engaging the services of lobbyists up in Washington and other powerful capitals. What's your say to that? Are you guys engaged with lobbyists there as the ANC, Mr. Cummings?
I cannot confirm, nor can I deny. But I cannot confirm, nor can I deny. But I can conclude on lobbying.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
That giving a political answer on a simple thing. Oh, yeah, we get lobbyists. Oh, no, we don't have. Like, hey, speaking. I cannot conclude. Anyway, you participate in political affairs.
Slanga is an open information. You can Google and find it.
I wanted to hear from the ANC representative that Conor Gray, but he's saying he can't confirm, he can't deny. Go ahead, Chief. Conclude on lobbying.
Even the most powerful countries on earth lobby. We all know how Mar-a-Lago became extremely attractive until the CIA had to step in, because some report of Chinese spies were getting rooms and placed in there. So lobbying is part of government activities. But I think where we emphasize is that lobbying firm must be very, very connected. so that we don't pay people who cannot put us in a room. We cannot pay people who cannot enhance our image. And for the record, I must congratulate the UP government, whosoever have the friend, because I have checked, I have researched while we're on the show, that this friend represents some big companies, including Amazon, Chevron, the NFL, over $1 billion industry, the NFL. It represents them. So that's awesome. But what is the benefit coming to Liberia? I think that's where the next conversation would be. But I do support having lobbyists in the right place, in the right room, because every one of us on this show, including myself, do lobby and do talk to lobbyists in different industry I have been in my 54 years on this earth. Thank you all. You all have a wonderful evening. We look forward to this conversation tomorrow.
Thank you, Dr. George. It's always good having you on the program. You bring in a wealth of input, and we value your services on the show as well. Atamba, your closing.
Yeah, thank you, Diamond. I'm not going to piggyback on what Dr. George said about ANC or comments. That's up to him to admit or or deny. But here's what I'm going to say. Liberia is a serious country, and Liberia needs a paradigm shift. And to say in the ANC most quoted sentence, you can't keep doing the same things and expect different results. That brings me to the issue of Kouyaté. Kouyaté, as ambassador at large, represents the presidency. He becomes the president of peace. And I'm not faulting him for calling the legislature corrupt. But there must be a place for you to make certain allegations, and you must back those allegations up. Kouyaté was in an international setting. If you are speaking for Liberia, you can say, look, Liberia has had challenges and allegations of corruption where the legislature has been accused of taking bribes to pass concession. And speak of this like that we are still challenged today, that we are not benefiting from our concession laws or our concession agreements. And that's the paradigm. But when you make a direct allegation against a sitting legislature, then you must be able to back it up. And then trying to walk back your statement because the president asked you, it's like you are bringing the presidency to public disrepute. And that's my problem. And this is why I think he should do the rightful thing. He should resign now, so he doesn't wait to be fired. And then finally, on the lobbying thing. Lobbying, as I said, has diminishing returns to poor countries in Africa. And we are not poor per se in terms of natural resources, but we are poor because our natural resources are poorly managed. What I'm saying is my position remains. We should continue to do those things that are right domestically and continue to make those improvements. And this government has made progress, but there remains a lot of challenges. If we're going to invest in lobbying, we shouldn't just throw $1.2 million somewhere and expect the people to go and burnish our image. Because what you are doing back home domestically is going to speak for yourself in our room. If you are a government that doesn't respect the rule of law, that lobbyist can only do so much for you to burnish your image. It happened to previous government. I'm not going to try to go back to what has happened 6 years ago or 7 years ago. So whatever you do back home, the successes is going to translate into making the job of that lobbyist easier to attract foreign direct investment, to get you that MCC compact. And that's my position. This is where we need to begin to rethink how we do things. Look, when Washington lobby, who they send? They send their Secretary of State, their ambassadors, or special envoys. I'm not saying there's no lobbying in Washington, but when Washington lobby in foreign countries, they go through the government channels. And that's why we should invest also our money. We should empower and support, reinforce the capacity of our foreign missions. If those people are struggling to be able to get in certain rooms in Washington, D.C., then the Minister of Foreign Affairs should be able to come to the support and get us in those rooms. Get us those sidebar conversations that are happening in New York when the United Nations meet. right? This is why you have special envoys, you have ambassadors at large who should be out there, advocating and speaking on behalf of the government and Liberia. It is about the interest that comes back to the country and not one individual. So it is about return investment, and we should look at it before we throw our money. Just $1.2 million could do a lot back home. But it's a great pleasure to be on here, gentlemen. It's been a good show. Thank you, Diamond, for hosting us. And also a pleasure to be among these distinguished gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Tamba Agalas. Let's go to Wilfred Bangura, MDR.
Absolutely. Thank you, Diamond. Once again, it's been great, very great being on the show tonight. In my closing, I just wanted to lay emphasis on two claims made by Dr. George and the closing of Mr. Tamba. Some part of that. The ambassadors we have in the government are competent. They know the job, they are qualified, and that's why they're representing the nation state in the national interest abroad. So they insinuate that because the ambassadors are not competent, that's why we want to have lobbyists. You can have the most competent ambassadors representing your government abroad. You still need to have lobbyists. These are advocacy groups that understand those countries better than your ambassador. These people, that's their country, that is their democracy. Most of them have served in parliament or served in government positions. They are well connected. They can push doors, open doors, and make things happen. So I wanted to clarify that. On the Tamba's thesis, every government should really do everything to improve the lives of its people. That is the key rule and the only rule of governments around the world. If you cannot make your people's life better, you cannot give them a prosperous civil society, it means you have breached the social contract. So your fundamental goal is to ensure that your people live better. But you can do all that you can in this multipolar world amongst these hegemonic powers we have, where decisions are made in foreign capitals by 5 or so countries that affect what happens in your country, either through this Bretton Woods institution, either through the World Bank, through the IMF, through the World Trade Organization. You still need to have people out there making a case for your country. You still need to do that. Have you wondered why Paul Biya from Cameroon is they in power? You know how long Paul Biya has been in power. It doesn't mean that there's no viable or there are no viable oppositions in Cameroon. But Paul Biya has got people representing his government to those hegemonic power and serving their interests, so he gets protected. You even spoke of Rwanda, but I thought Rwanda, these countries are in East Africa, they're far away, but just right around here in Cote d'Ivoire, you have the current president he's enjoying his 3rd term in office. The examples are just everywhere. Why you see the Ivorians cannot get on the street to demonstrate, etc., etc. They've got lobbyists. You know, the Ivorian economy, I think it's the fastest growing economy right now in the region. But yet they do have lobbyists. So the argument I am submitting tonight is that the government has made a good decision, not only to get a lobbyist, but to also to get a very reputable one, a very top-notch one. Look up the history of the Brala partners. You get to realize that they have a great success history. Their existence has been marked by phenomenal deliveries of their works. They serve their clients well. So we're looking forward to a blistering relationship. More doors in Washington will be open and Liberia will rise. We want more connection in the international system, not just with Washington, but with other global hegemonic powers that will be able to help Liberia achieve its objective, because this is an interconnected world. No country is an island. We need all these countries. We need the support of the West. We need the support of these big powers. So we believe that with this firm, we'll be able to achieve a whole lot with them. And the international relations will be better. Diplomacy will be better. Foreign affairs will be better. And our country is going to be out there. So we trust that the Vela partners will deliver a great success story in this deal.
Thank you very much, Wilfred Bangura. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking up your time to be on the program. Thank you to everybody who took up their time to listen and to watch as well. This is my closing on this whole lobbying, not lobbying kind of thing. Whereas we will pay lobbyists to brand us out there, promote us out there, and get us in the right rooms, we should also be doing our homework back home, making sure we're scoring good grades and improving the lives of our people. Because if it is all about being branded positively out there internationally and whispering of you in the right rooms and getting you in the right meetings, remember these same countries have information being sent to them, not just by opposition figures as is alleged in Liberia, but there are NGOs, there are INGOs, there are a lot of other organizations and civil rights movements and the rest that take reports and submit these reports to these very governments through their embassies and through their other networks that they have. So as you are lobbying, there's also background information on you. We want to see positive returns from this 1.2 million. If 1.2 million can get us 300 million grants, that's a drop in the bucket. If 1.2 million of lobbying can get us, a multinational firm to look Liberia's way and invest some way, somehow, and more than what we're giving these lobbyists, that's a good investment. But if 1.2 million is not going to get us anything in return, rather than try to whisper a few words and make us to look good, meanwhile we're not good back home, the noise from back home will overshadow whatever it is that lobbyists are trying to do for you. Because every political party in Liberia is connected now. ANC, I'm just mentioning, not as I'm saying they are doing it, but the ANC has got a connection up Washington, D.C. too. They've got their members around too. They've got people that they can talk to too. So if you're not doing the right thing back home and a lobbyist is saying something about you there, somebody somewhere will say this is the picture of what is happening. So in as much as lobbying is not illegal, it is fairly legal. We should get returns for our money, and these returns should be tangible that will impact the lives of the Liberian people, that the 1.2 million could have gone to improving their healthcare system. Let them know that this lobbying that we paid for got us where we are today and these benefits that we're enjoying. But if we cannot show anything for that, well, somebody will eat your money for free and sweet, and you're not getting anything for inside. You can go cry wolf. So my people, thank you for watching. Kuyate, well, whether he will resign or not, we try to get him on the program. He's not answering. Apparently, his phones are switched off. We will see what the next course of action is in the coming days, whether the president is going to listen to the legislature and want to keep the cordial relationship going and will shift Kuyate somewhere, or whether the president will keep him to where he is, or Kuyate might just resign. Whatever the case is, Kuyate came out and reminded me of a joke in a Liberian setting, that the men were owing money, and then the person who he owed the money went to his house and he told his children to tell that man, say, yeah. Then the boy went and told the man, say, my pa say I should tell you, say, yeah. That's the same way Kuyate Sunday when he said the president said I should come and apologize, rather than saying I've come to apologize. He said, look, I was coerced, I was forced, I was asked to come and apologize, and flipped again and decided to be a revolutionary. When you're in public service, you are guarded by a code of conduct. When you are in the executive as an ambassador, yes, you have to behave ambassadorial. If you think you want to be out and as a revolutionary and speak to power and build your base for you to portray an image of yourself, there are consequences thereof. Somebody said, is there not freedom of speech? Certain jobs you don't speak at all. You must be authorized before you can speak. If you want that freedom back to speak freely, then you leave the job and you speak freely. Will Kuyate be a victim of his own words? Well, we'll find out to see. But guys, thank you for the show. Have for yourselves a wonderful. Is it afternoon still at your end?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a wonderful afternoon.
I don't know where is Emmanuel, but I'm on the East Coast right now, so it's about 7:15 here.
Now, George, you muted.
No, I'm on the East Coast in 7:16. Bangura, when you get done, you should visit Liberia Embassy. Maybe the next time you come on the show after visiting, tell Liberia Embassy the thing you say you will not say again.
I should visit where?
10 Liberia Embassies.
10 Liberia Embassies. Then you come back, let's talk.
All right, you really like an argument. I'll see you guys.
Judge, you get high here, man. Good night.
Conor Gray, thank you for your time. Tamba, thank you for your time. Wilfred, it's night to both of us here, so good night to you.
Good night to you
everybody
too.
else, thank you for your time as well. Thank you for watching and following. We'll do this. Yep, I've been getting a lot of messages, people asking where is the CEO. He will appear when the time comes. He will tell you where he is. I see a lot of speculations in the comment section as to where he is. Well, speculate as much as you can. When he gets back, he will tell you where exactly he was or what he's been up to. On behalf of the entire network, have yourselves a wonderful night. Good afternoon to you, wherever it is. Good day. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night.
Yeah, guys. Bye. See you.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, standing with the spoon and your boy.
To get your information. To get my Spoon